Look,
why was he saying like that?
I'd take him on a nice date.
Little dinner date.
Yeah.
Nice conversation.
I would call him after.
Would you kiss him?
I want to be classy about it, so I don't want to be too upfront.
Sure.
It's
I
just
got
a
it.
first
Maybe
date. You can kiss.
if he leans in, sure.
Dinosaur.
Favorite
Favorite
dinosaur.
Favorite dinosaur, go.
It's the guy with the bone head from the second one, where he's like,
The Friar Tuck.
Yeah, where he's like, you got to line it up and
Spine.
Yeah.
That's a good one. Have just a arm that's black. Could I then do what I've always talked about?
I think so. Hold on. So are you saying, okay, so reverse the situation. So you're saying that
Yeah.
if you
Ankylosaurus.
got your arm ripped off, bitten off, however
Sure.
off, and the only
Arm I could have put
you
on.
get put on that's fresh is a black guy's arm,
Yeah.
would that grant you the ability to do blackface, is what you're saying?
Yes. Possibly.
I think you have more
Of a chance?
of a chance to do it than you would if you didn't,
Gotcha.
but also
Probably not.
just do it. Fuck it.
Just blow your arm off.
Just do it. We'll see what happens. I don't want to see a fucking raptor scene in which Chris Pratt is on a motorcycle brapping through the fucking Mali or wherever they are, just like
It's Prattin.
Yeah,
Pratt.
You son of a bitch. Hey, welcome to the Decision Reel Movie Review Podcast, where we try and fail to review movies of today and yesterday. This week, we're looking at one of my favorite movies of all time, but there's a twist here. We're talking about scary movies or Halloween movies
Yeah.
or horror movies, if you will, for the month of October. My man picked Jurassic Park.
Yeah, look, a sleeper of a scary-ass movie, especially when I saw it as a kid. Nightmare-inducing.
That's why I kind of liked your pick when you said it. You're just like Jurassic Park. I was thinking you're gonna go with something, maybe
Stupid, cheesy, maybe, like
Evil Dead
fucking
again or
leprechauns in space or some shit like that.
Exactly. And then you throw Jurassic Park, and my brain starts percolating. And I'm like, this man is on another level because he is correct.
And the funny thing is, there's sequels to it, but none of them feel like they're scary-ass fucking movies. Scary parts, maybe here and there, suspenseful-esque, but not even close to how creepy and how the goosebumpy shit that I got in this one.
No, definitely not. And as a kid in '93 watching this movie, it sparked your interest in dinosaurs, sure.
Yeah.
But also, like, you peed a little watching
I mean,
it.
we were 5.
This is
in
the era
93.
of like Toy Story and like fucking Lion King. This
Oh,
is
yeah.
right around the same group of years.
I mean, I feel like your toys coming to life is kind of scary. So
Yeah.
It depends on how it goes, right? They could make a movie, Toy Story, that's the opposite of that.
Your
where,
toys come to life as an adult.
Well, okay, hold on. Think about Chucky,
Our
right?
toys would be something specific.
Chucky's sort of
Hers
the-
might be a little
Oh,
weird.
bzz. Think of Chucky,
if that's
right?
how he came to life, I definitely wouldn't even need y'all.
It's like fucking. Steve stands up and it's like.
Just across the fucking table. Well, where are you going?
But would it walk from its base, or it would have to walk from the base?
well, it depends on
because
what-
you wouldn't. Was it? Gonna
It
be
depends on the one. Do you,
It'd be like
a
is
headstand,
it like
you know
a
what I mean? It would
U-boat
be
or
a
something like
Right,
that?
right. It all depends on what kind of
No, it's
toy
got
we're talking here.
Okay.
She's obviously describing what she has. We don't know.
Barbies.
Right, Barbies. They'd be walking across the table.
Anyways,
Because I'm just
It
Ken.
doesn't have legs.
Anywhere else, I'd be a 10.
scary movie.
This
hands
is definitely the first time you watch it. It is a horror movie. Like, it is set up
down. Yeah.
in every part to be a horror movie. Think about it. Like, you have a monster that you're not seeing for a bit. Like, he does the Jaws thing here. Let's be real.
Oh,
for
yeah.
for the first half of the movie, and you're trying to think like, okay, what's going to happen, or where are these dinosaurs? And even when they go on the tour, right, and they're the first dinosaur that comes up, they're like, oh, Dilophosaurus, and they're looking. There's nothing there,
Yeah.
because also that's how that would be. Like,
Yes.
Well, it's the same thing even at a regular zoo sometimes, where you
That's-
would go to the zoo and they're like, I
Right.
don't need to entertain you. I'm just out here living my life.
exactly. I remember when I
Also,
went.
imagine how big those enclosures are for dinosaurs.
Correct.
It's a fucking
So-
island.
They could be fucking anywhere. You have this much space to see them. They're out living their life.
Yo,
Right.
even I would go to this island today.
Yeah.
If someone was like, "Yo, we finally did it," I would book a plane trip to there,
I would book
even knowing what happened in these fucking movies.
So going.
I'd be there
We have
immediately.
documented examples of why it is a bad idea.
Exactly. I'm
You
in.
said, fuck it.
I'm in.
I'm ready.
I'm in. Get me in
So
there.
going forward into the future, you have Jurassic World, right? Which is I would say the culmination or the real dream of what they actually wanted there, which was a giant world in which is a functioning.
Should have been Jurassic Park 2. That's where that one kind of should have fucking ballooned
They had
into.
to build up to that.
Well, no. So here's the
one
thing.
of my favorite scenes of all time. In the second one is when they it makes it to the city. The T-Rex the blockbuster,
which was never supposed to happen. By the way, that was.
It felt like a second movie,
and that's why because they had a planned original ending, and they had to scrap it and do what they did there. Now, I don't want to get too far into it because we eventually are going to do the Lost World on this goddamn.
So good.
So we'll leave those fun facts for that. But getting back to what I was saying is, I feel like the second movie shouldn't be Jurassic World because if you look at the Michael Crichton, however you want to say it, books, they don't ever make a park because the whole idea of the book is man playing God and what happens when you do that.
And it ends up, you're like, okay, no, we shouldn't do that.
So the second...
Goldblum in this fucking movie.
Oh my God.
So good.
The part where he's like trying to do the thing with the water on her.
Touching her. When he first talks to her, grabs her by the ear. He's like fucking with her ear.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, what the fuck?
Who this man?
I feel like that's something an old creepy guy would do.
Even obviously not my first time watching it, but even like younger watching that movie, him doing that has always creeped me out.
But I think that's
and
kind
I
of
like
the
him,
point. Yeah.
But like, there's something
do ears creep you
in
out?
me. But he doesn't touch her ear. He touches that little piece of hair, which is the most.
I thought it was the ear. Was it the hair? Oh, I thought it was the ear.
She has like those like
I thought
kind
he
of
went like
bang type of those
correct.
thick like bang pieces that are hanging in front of her ear, and he touches her hair, and it's just the weirdest thing to me. Like, why did you think to do that? Why did you do that?
Because it's worked before on many women.
Had he touched
Probably.
my ear, I would have been like, the fuck are you doing?
Well, I mean,
don't do
Grant
that.
asked him, he's like, "You been married?" He's just like,
I love.
Yeah,
Always on the lookout for the next missus.
Yeah, right. Second. So no, you don't think a young Jeff Goldblum was a hot man, a sexy, ferocious man?
that part where his shirt is open and he's just
he's
sitting there.
lounging. He's like posed.
I'm not gonna lie,
He's
I
like
can get a little roused from
Burt Reynolds, like.
He's like shirts all open, and his fucking foot's in the thing in the
like,
back of the
ignore the blood
Jeep.
coming through the wrap that's on his body. And
I'm
stuff,
dying, but it's
like,
fine. It's
yeah.
fine.
Like, why was he saying like that?
I'd take him on a nice date.
Little dinner date,
Yeah.
nice conversation.
I would call him after.
Would you kiss him?
I want to be classy about it, so I don't want to be too upfront.
Sure.
It's just a
Maybe
first date. You can kiss.
if he leans in, sure.
Dude, I watched this video of him at, you probably seen it, at a jazz club. He's just sitting there
yeah.
doing piano, killing it.
And he
on
just
piano,
shows
fucking-
up.
And he's being him.
Yeah.
It's the same guy you see in every fucking movie. And he's just playing piano.
That's what I was gonna say. I feel like he doesn't act. I feel like he is just.
No, every
He just walks on
Jeff
set and
Goldblum
he's
character
like,
has
yeah,
been the
it's
same.
him. Yeah.
But he's so out there
He's a character.
that he himself is a
That's
character.
what,
that it
that's
works
what I mean. Like
in
he doesn't
everything.
need to like
It's perfect.
act because he
Really
himself is a interesting fella.
Yeah,
I
it's
would.
great.
I will watch any movie.
He's got
in.
that Christopher Walken thing where it's like,
He is the character.
Yeah.
yeah.
even his I don't want to say small because it wasn't small, but his section of Thor Ragnarok, like
Hilarious.
he is just like
Yeah.
a character.
But he's being Jeff Goldblum.
Yes,
yeah,
I
and
know.
it's great.
Perfect.
And I will watch, like I said, anything that he is in.
Listen,
Anything.
without him being in that movie or without that part, I wouldn't have gotten my favorite thing that happened in any of the Thor movies.
Getting his hair cut.
Oh my god, that's like the best thing to happen.
The goo part where he was like
Yeah.
tapped him and he was like, "Oh, that's gross."
And
or
it's like,
whatever
he's like backing away from it. Like, clean that up. Somebody clean that up.
Yeah.
Jurassic Park, the plot of it. I'm pretty sure we know. But hey, a pragmatic paleontologist touring an
Dinosaurs.
almost complete theme park on an island in Central America is tasked with protecting a couple of kids after a power failure causes the park's cloned dinosaurs to run loose. I want to say something.
What?
That is not.
I just noticed the
plot. Kinda different.
spider. I just noticed the spider.
Oh, you
on
saw
the thing.
that?
It was creepy.
The
Yeah,
word
'cause we're trying
clone is
to
kind
do-
of an awkward word to use for that. I don't think they're clone.
So they're
They're
not,
like
dinosaurs.
re-engineering.
They're re-engineered dinosaurs. They're supposed to be birds, right? Isn't that the whole concept behind this?
well, so if we're gonna get into it, let's get into
And
it.
since
'cause
they're let's do it.
there's some. This may be.
Discrepancies.
Hold on. This is. I want to put this out there first.
The reason everyone thinks dinosaurs are lizards.
No, this is one of my all-time favorite movies, but I do have some qualms with it.
It's got holes.
That's
Yes.
my favorite.
The first hole is how they get the dinosaur DNA. So there's a mosquito flying around that sucks some blood, and before processing that blood, because that's what
Do you think you're just
mosquitoes
rolling
do.
dice with what
Hold on.
dinosaurs in there?
Oh, that's what I'm saying. But
Well,
and then,
what
but
animal
then,
in general? What animal in general? Like,
right, and then also, where do you? Hold on, before I get to it. Then that mosquito has to fly to a tree that produces sap, because not all trees produce sap, and then it has to have so much sap that it's coming out of it, flowing down the bark, which rarely happens, and then it has to be encased in said sap, not fly away from it, but somehow
it lives there.
it
now.
lives there, and then it needs to survive millions of years underground. Then they have to find it. How do you find?
Like, where did they find? You just found one day, and you went, "Huh?
There's got
I
to be
wonder
more.
what's in this."
Right, exactly.
Better if they had
Like-
like pulled some sort of DNA from bones or some shit like that, or frozen. They should have went with the frozen thing, where
When you-
everyone got
Like bone
flash
marrow,
freezed.
like bone marrow.
Right.
Yeah,
when you
something like that.
when you put it on paper, it is a very cool story, right? That you find blood in a mosquito that was fucking frozen in time
Yeah.
and sap. Yeah, but the chances of that happening, and then how many different species of dinosaurs do they have there?
Did they find all of that DNA in one? Like
In
in
how?
one
well, not
mosquito?
one. They got to
Some-
go find
where
more
they're
mosquitoes.
like, but that's what I'm saying. But like that mosquito might have bit two different types of dinosaurs,
or
so then they had to like
Hybrid
weed
dinosaur.
it out.
Or this is what's happening. They found the one, and they have dino DNA from it, and they are engineering these things from that. Because again, if you read the book or if you kind of watch Jurassic World, they kind of explain this, saying that they're not actually dinosaurs. That's why they don't look like birds or have feathers, but then later they do. They're just filling in the sequence of DNA they don't have with frog DNA.
Which they do, talk about.
Right? And
Which
it's
is why then they can reproduce.
Asexual.
correct.
Because
But also, that's why they don't look like dinosaurs, is what they said later. But again, okay, so if they're finding that one fucking mosquito, and then from there they can then just gene splice whatever they wanted, because that one mosquito, they found the DNA strands from it, are they just splicing shit together and
Well,
calling it a day?
and like you said, when you look at the future movies, I mean they're splicing and dicing all day, making new shit. So
Right. I can live with that.
I don't know, a little wacky.
Right.
Don't care.
well,
That-
no.
that- see,
That's
that-
the
that-
thing.
that's what I was going to
They
get to
don't
as well.
have to explain
That's
it
the thing.
because
Right. It's a movie, and they did explain it enough for you to go, yeah, that makes sense. Not, wait a second.
they didn't go too far into the explanation where you went, okay, wait, how?
Yeah,
Exactly.
I don't think you have that. Maybe you still have the cool DNA, the DNA scene, the fucking
You
thing
got to.
moving around. Yeah, I still think you have that.
Dino DNA.
But it sounds cooler
Hey, like
coming from a
that-
mosquito's ass than it does from like some sort of old fucking rusty
The
bones.
little,
you know?
Yeah.
the little guy, it makes me think of the
So many people
Microsoft
have stole
Word,
that.
Yeah, Clippy.
the little Clippy character, and this would make
Yeah.
me. But also the way he says dinosaur, because he doesn't say dinosaur, he says
Dino-
dinosaurs,
Dinosaur.
dinosaurs.
What you know is a dinosaur. Which is
perfect.
funny. Yeah, it really is. I always like the part where he's trying to catch up, because this is the other thing I thought about is Richard Hammond Hammond. Is he John Hammond? What did I say, Richard? Because it's Richard
Dick
Attenborough.
Hammond.
Sure. Anyways, is he going to be doing all these tours? Because when he comes up
For
the
every
steps,
person that comes, yeah.
well, think about it. When he comes up the steps, he talks to himself, and he refers to himself, and then he pokes the blood out of him and everything.
Maybe-
It's weird. It's
I
weird.
thought of it as maybe it's a
Selling point
beginning
for the
stage
insurance
thing
guy.
for
Maybe.
the first few like troops that they have come through there,
Sure.
like investors and endorsements and stuff.
Because he
like
does
that.
say we're still trying to figure out what to do, and
Yeah.
we're going to put more music behind it and
Yeah,
stuff
he
like
does.
that.
And I feel like when I was younger, I didn't notice all the little things in all of the conversations that they were saying. You know what I
Oh
mean?
no,
Like,
exactly. And it's almost like you have two movies when you watch this. When you watch it as a kid, and then when you watch it as an adult, thinking about the other side of why they're actually there. Because when I was a kid, I was just like, oh, they're going to see dinosaurs. Cool.
Like
fuck
why
yeah.
these
dope.
people?
Right.
Why like they just chose them? Like,
Right.
Did they win a lottery? Like,
But the whole idea is the beginning scene, in which I remember the first time watching this, I didn't see the beginning scene, and I don't remember why. I don't know if my parents didn't let me
You
see
talking
it.
about the raptor
The
claw?
actual-
oh,
the
that's one of the
first
best parts. Oh, that beginning
that
scene. Okay.
is terrifying.
It's
Because
fucking
like you said,
awesome.
it's the
Shoot
it's the
her.
unseen. They are
Exactly.
not showing the
Well,
dinosaur.
well, they
yet.
show the eyes, And then they show Muldoon's eyes, and they're like looking at each other. Well, he's like, I'm gonna fucking kill this dude. I'm eating him.
But also,
So
listen,
good.
if we think about like all of the movies that have come from this first one, they, from the first scene that you see in this movie, which is this one that we're talking about, they decided the raptor was gonna run this fucking film series.
Well, also,
You know what I mean? Because they didn't start with a T-Rex. They didn't start with the
That's
most
the poster boy, though.
dramatic thing in this movie could arguably be that first scene.
well,
When
and,
they're trying to like
two,
it.
two things off that. I think Steven Spielberg does that on purpose because he doesn't want to give away the big guy yet, right? So he's showing
sure.
that this is a dinosaur that can fit in this thing that's almost man-sized, but is so ferocious. There's how many people there,
that have to
and this
deal.
guy gets fucking ripped
But
out
then-
of someone's arms.
Imagine something
think
fucking
about
30
through the
times,
whole
20
movie.
times the
Think
size
about
of
through
that.
the whole movie. They still like I said, they don't show it right away. Then they make such a big deal about the raptor baby. They're like, wait a second. Because when he said we have a T-Rex, they got excited about the T-Rex. When they said raptor baby, they all went, why the
He was just like,
oh my God.
what is this? And he's like, Velociraptor. He's like,
And he's
you
like-
bred raptors?
What?
It's dope.
He's-
Foreshadowing.
You know what I mean? Because almost in
one
his
of the
mind,
best
he's
movies
like,
at it.
this is, like, this was this. But for the T-Rex, they were like, oh my God, you have a T-Rex. Like,
Right.
so excited.
Clocked a T-Rex at 45
And then
pounds.
they show them the raptor. Again, they don't show them. They just, he's explaining how they were so smart and how they had 8. I think, again, when I was younger, I didn't comprehend that whole story that he was telling. That we had 8, and then the bigger one took over, and they killed a bunch of
and
them.
what was the bigger one? The one that they brought in at the beginning. So to me, that shows and it brings that there's a big story here that I wasn't paying attention to as a kid, right? And so the whole reason they're here is because of that first scene where the guy is the guy's family suing for hundreds of millions of dollars. And they need to sign off on the park to say, hey, this is safe or this is doable. So we need to bring
this was a mishap. Like we've got it under control.
We need to bring in experts to sign off on it. And who do they bring in? They bring in the guy who's a doomsday kind of person who's all about chaos, right?
theorist.
And then they bring in 2 paleontologists.
Dinosaur professionals.
Exactly. But in reality, what are they there to do? You know, like they dig up dinosaur bones, but
it's probably
now I'm
also,
saying dinosaur.
Dinosaur.
Probably just a fucking. It seems like if you relate this to another court case from maybe like a zoo or something like that, it probably follows the same guidelines.
I guess, yeah. Bring in
We're cool to the public. Look,
But you'd
these
still,
professionals said
Sure.
it was cool.
but I also, on that note, like I do think maybe you'd bring in a zoologist and maybe you'd like maybe like a veterinarian also but would you not also bring in like a top security team to evaluate your park as well?
Well, again, they spared no expense.
This is also a
How many
perfect
times
storm.
is
This
that-
is a perfect storm.
Tell me one of
literally.
your fun facts is how many times he says that in the movie because I tried to count and then I stopped at one point.
So the whole
It's
point,
at least 4.
yeah. So the whole point is they have not spared
No.
expense.
Clearly.
They're cutting corners, and because of that, this has happened. Look at Nedry. His whole thing was, I need more money. You're not paying me enough to do this. They have one guy doing all that. Why? Because they're fucking cutting corners to make, he has a dream. He has a vision of what to do. And the whole thing, and they go into this way more in the books that, he was not the same character that he is in the movie, but he was more of a, how would I say?
Look, us and dinosaurs would be cool if it wasn't for that guy.
You're right.
You know?
What?
Us and dinosaurs would be dope.
That's what you think?
I do. I don't think. I think
was
all
just
the movies are
saying.
just at that point hypothetical documentaries that are with good endings.
With a good ending. I mean, this has a good ending.
It does, kind of.
I mean,
If you
people
don't-
died, but-
Depends on which character you're asking.
Yeah, I was gonna say people died, but it's
Sam
like,
Jackson, you want to ask his arm hanging in the fucking
Hold
cloud?
on. We didn't see his body.
I know, but it's
he's
implied.
alive out there with
He's the
a
first one that
robotic-
goes to
Hold
go
on
do
to your
that. Yeah.
Also,
on to
the
your
only
butts.
guy who really dies, let's be real, was Muldoon because
Muldoon, the insurance guy.
Muldoon
Who's the ones
is-
that get the
is
toilet
the
seat?
safari.
Lawyer.
Oh yeah.
Muldoon. How about this? Let's do that.
The lawyer.
Let's go
guy.
starring. Let's
yeah,
do
yeah.
starring. Actually, fuck it. We're gonna go in order. Where to watch this?
We could do starring and then we'll go nope, dead.
Right.
Like-
Okay. We'll get to that. So this is where to watch. You can watch it right now if you have a subscription to Peacock, the cock.
I do now.
Oh, you
I
do.
got one.
Oh,
yeah.
good job.
Someone was talking about The Office the other day. and
Yeah,
I
it's
was
all
like,
on there.
I'm
There's
gonna
extra
do it.
stuff. There's actually some more stuff on there. I only have it because wrestling's on there, WWE.
But
and
then
it
I had
comes with it
also
and-
like because I was like, well, there's probably some movies on there that
There's a whole bunch of shit
because
on
in
there.
the past when I've looked up movies like that we were doing on here, I've seen Peacock come up before for free, and I'm paying on for Amazon. So I was like, you know what, I might as well just pay the $5
Right.
instead of all the times that I've
Exactly. For the
bought the
month
movie.
of one movie, it's exactly. So if you want to rent it though, YouTube, Google Play, Apple TV, Vudu, Amazon. This is written by Michael Cretchen and David Kopp. Koepp. Koepp. You Koepp. It's based on the book written by Michael Cretchen as well, Jurassic Park. He was asked a couple times why is the book called Jurassic Park when there is a picture of a dinosaur that's not from the Jurassic era on it, and he went, it just looked cool.
The T-Rex is
Perfect
not from
answer.
the T-Rex is not from the Jurassic era.
It is not. Do you know what era?
Perfect. Jurassic.
No, it's not. It's not Jurassic. Jurassic.
It's from the Jurassic era.
But
'cause
isn't
it's
it-
a
isn't it
Tyrannosaurus
from-
Rex.
Mm.
Hmm.
Do you?
So
You
what
just
I want to
quizzing
say
me?
is this is always what baffles my mind. Between when the Stegosaurus walked the earth and when the Tyrannosaurus Rex walked the
Cretaceous.
earth, there's 65 million years, give or take, in between that,
That's why there's periods, all the different.
right? So in between that time is the same time from when Tyrannosaurus Rex and us is here. Does that compute in your brain?
Kind of weird.
That's how long
which
dinosaurs
also
roam the earth.
Makes it less of a chance that those mosquitoes were biting from the same time period.
Exactly. They all just, dinosaurs were together. Dinosaur DNA.
Because
Sorry.
T-Rex is from the late Cretaceous period.
Correct. And I believe the velociraptors are from a different period as well.
I think they're all from different.
Yeah, probably.
Favorite dinosaur.
Favorite
Triceratops.
dinosaur?
Favorite dinosaur. Go.
It's the guy with the bone head from the second one where he's like,
The Friar Tuck.
Yeah, where he's like, you got to line it up. And
Spine.
Yeah.
That's a good one. Hits the fucking
That's
cardboard.
called a.
yeah, I don't remember the name off the top of my
Begins with a
head.
P.
They're so Pythagoras.
I like the one. This might be the one you just listed, but the one that had the fucking ball tail and the spikes.
It's a different one.
It's a
But
different
yeah, from
one.
the second
In a
one,
book,
second movie, yeah.
What it was like when I was younger, I read it that it had two brains, which is not a thing anymore. I'm pretty sure.
Oh
that
yeah,
was
they said it
proven
was
wrong.
one in the tail and one in the
Yeah,
head.
yeah, because it was so big in the way it moved. But yeah,
Wild.
I thought
There
that was
is a
pretty dope.
Triassic.
You're welcome, bitch.
Dropping
There's a
knowledge.
Triassic. The Triassic period are the first dinosaurs.
Red raptors.
The first dinosaurs.
On June 11th.
There were primitive reptiles before that period, but the first classified as dinosaurs is the Triassic period.
Yeah.
Jurassic is the next period.
Correct.
Then you got Cretaceous
Are you gonna read all those?
period.
Sure, why not? Let's
Yeah, and then
drop some knowledge in
Cretaceous
everybody.
period. So there's technically 3 dinosaur periods. And then there are periods before that, but they weren't actually dinosaurs. There were like reptiles and stuff.
Right.
And insects and water animals.
Giant insects.
Mm-hmm. How come there's no big insects in this motherfucker? Like, here's another thing I want to say. How did they get the plants from the same era?
I thought they had current plants. Was it a
Nope.
mix?r
Doesn't
They
she talk
said-
about that?
Yeah.
How they
So
genetically.
before they even see a dinosaur,
Yeah, because
she's
you're not getting
in.
that from a mosquito.
Thank you. She's in the Jeep before they even see the dinosaur, and she's looking at the giant leaf, going, "How would they even do this? Like, there's no way this is from
Yeah,
an
but I'm just
extinct
saying
era."
they had modern plants too. I'm not saying
Yeah,
that it was
there was
just
palm trees out there.
Because that's why she was able to
Right.
tell that one was fucking poisonous for the Triceratops.
We're gonna get into that in a little bit
Old fucking hand poop.
because there's a lot of stuff there that is explained in the book in that scene that they don't even say in the movie. They don't even tell you why the Triceratops is sick. You think it's because it's poison, but it's not. We're going to get to it in Steve's fun facts later.
Is it because it's fucking pregnant?
No.
Oh, okay.
It's got to be cool, though.
Pachycephalosaurus.
Yeah, because he says the same thing. He's like, what's that one?
No,
Packy,
no.
Packy.
That's the one with the hood.
That's
So
the one he. That's
the
what
next
I'm
one I
saying
like.
for
That's
him.
the one
That's what
right
I'm
after
saying.
that
Yeah,
they
yeah.
roped down.
That's what I'm talking about for him.
Yeah, we're talking about the fucking the one with the
No,
skull.
that right there.
That's
Packy.
that is that
Oh.
one. No,
That's not what I'm talking
no.
about.
The one with the, which is Ducky from
The Gallimimus?
from.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
No, those
Those
are
are
the
the ones-
running ones in the first one. Gallimimus are the ones that run in the herds.
That's
Yeah.
the one the T-Rex comes out. Yeah.
Yes. So the one that you're talking about that has the like thing that sticks off its head.
Yeah.
That's not what I've been talking about
No.
at all.
I'm saying the one that you just brought up just now.
The picture you brought up.
That is the one Steve said he liked with
Friar
the
Tuck.
helmet.
No, that's different.
No.
So the one
Listen to me.
where he lines up the skull and
Don't
fucking hits
argue
the
with me.
dude.
That's Friar Tuck.
Yeah.
That's the one I'm talking about.
That's
That's not
this
the
one.
one. Yes,
That's
100%.
this one. That's the one I just showed you.
The one you just showed me had the fucking thing
No,
on
it's
its
just
head.
a different. No, it's not. It's just that's just an old drawing. See, there's a bunch of them. See,
Is it
Same
straight?
dinosaur.
Does it say if it's straight skull?
I think it's like 3 inches thick a skull.
According to the dude, imagine.
I
Fucking
got a
dope.
helmet. I can do anything I want.
Exactly.
So this is directed by none other than Steven Spielberg.
The man, the myth.
The legend.
it's
It
a
says.
few extremely thick skull roofs.
So he has a few roofs of skull on him.
The species is known mainly from a single skull, plus a few extremely thick
me? Or
skull
you?
roofs.
Came through pretty good. We're digesting over here.
And then there are other ones that are similar that have that, which are like the Stygilmalock something, which is similar.
So anyways,
Listen, I have that dinosaur.
Keep it going. Keep it going.
I
Keep it
have
going.
that dinosaur game that I've talked
She's
about.
going
on
to
here
read us
before.
off like 1,000 dinosaur things right now.
The one that's Ducky
Dinosaur.
from The
I know what
Land
you're
Before
talking
Time
about.
is it's
Yeah.
para something, not pally something. It's para something.
sure. This is rated PG-13 for intense science fiction terror.
Terror. There it is.
Mm.
I think that there's your sign.
Oh, terror. All right, starring Sam Neill as Grant, Jeff Goldblum as Malcolm, Laura Dern as Ellie, coughing as Tara,
Terror. is-
Sir Richard Attenborough as Hammond, Bob Peck as Muldoon.
Oh, sir, huh?
Some old dude's gone.
Muldoon is dead.
Dead.
Martin Ferrero is Gennaro.
He did.
He's the lawyer. He did.
He did.
Joseph Mazzello is Tim, the little kid, and he survives.
Probably should have died.
Barely.
Zap scene.
Ariana Richards is Lex. Samuel L. Jackson as Arnold, half dead.
I think he died. I think it's pretty implied, but obviously, like you
heard-
said, you don't know.
Yeah, I heard that they were like, I can't remember. It was maybe in like the Jurassic Park comic series or something like that. Like they brought him back, just like they brought back Darth Maul, even though he'd been halved.
It was fucking just got his arm and a random body.
They gave him
Some
a
Metal Gear
robot.
Solid.
Yeah, they gave him
shit.
robot legs and shit.
Oh, dope.
Oh, I'm sorry, Darth Maul. You're talking
Shit.
about. Yeah.
I'm talking about Metal Gear Solid, fucking Liquid's arm. That's what I'm
Right,
talking
right.
about.
It's his
Imagine.
arm. Can you? I can.
Yo, if you're a white person,
Hold on. So what are you saying is if he lost his arm and I was a cadaver, fresh, and they're like, yo, the only arm we got that was fresh is a white guy's arm. Will you take it?
yeah,
Would you?
yeah. Are you allowed grants and stuff? Like, are you like scholars? What are you at that point? What are you allowed to do and not allowed to do? That's what I'm saying.
So if you raise your hand in class, you're getting picked more than you would if you raise the other hand. Is what you're saying.
Possibly, if I have just a arm that's black, could I then do what I've always talked about?
I think so. Hold on. So are you saying, okay, so reverse the situation. So you're saying that
Yeah.
if you
Ankylosaurus.
got your arm ripped off, bitten off, however
sure
off, and the only
arm I could have put
could you
on.
get put on that's fresh is a black guy's arm.
Yeah.
Would that grant you the ability to do blackface, is what you're saying?
Yes. Possibly.
I think you have more
Of a chance?
of a chance to do it than you would if you didn't,
Gotcha.
but also
Probably not.
just do it. Fuck it.
Just blow your arm off.
Just do it. We'll see what happens.
Anyways.
They can only say that's not right.
Anyways, I think he died.
You can have Samuel L. Jackson's arm.
Exactly. I'm just going to start saying motherfucker.
Motherfucking sharks. Well, sorry. Wayne Knight also as Nedry. Now, we don't know if he died.
I mean,
He's getting danced around in that Jeep with the fucking.
he gets splattered.
I feel like
There's-
he died.
But you don't.
No, it doesn't.
So you don't
splatter.
actually physically see either of those two die.
No. The only person you know for sure is probably pretty ripped up is Muldoon. Because
Now I
the
think about it.
two raptors come beside him.
And the one on the toilet, the lawyer. Come on, he got. They're
Yeah, I was about to say.
they're
that's
talking
the
later
only
about
one I-
how they're seeing pieces of him.
You're right.
That's the only one I
dead.
think you see
He
die.
got eaten. Like he's.
So we
halved.
have one confirmed kill in this movie.
It's either that or what's his
Well, two.
face.
Two, because at the
Two
beginning.
confirmed.
Shoot, ha. It's one of those.
That guy's probably
More likely.
It was biting his face.
That's what I'm saying. You have the two of them coming out beside him.
That one's
And
dead.
what's wild is he
that
says
other one doesn't. The second one doesn't actually attack him. It still just chills. Like
yeah. Because here's the thing: how did in the beginning when he's telling the little kid, Grant's telling the little kid how they would attack? They attack the same way.
yeah, oh yeah. One
Which is wild.
gets you gets your attention, and then the other one comes in from the side.
Right.
Sorry.
I'm a clever guy.
Clever girl. Dead. And they sounded like dogs at that point.
I'm pretty
He
sure.
appreciated it though. That's what's so funny about it. Like he knew he was probably about to die, but he was like,
Well, he was
He
a
was smart
game.
as fuck.
He was a game hunter or something. They said so. They brought
that's
him
why
in
he was
from
dressed like he was from the safari all the time.
Do you think that's where if not, it came from one of the other movies, but do you think that's where the In the Walls thing came from, Steve? You think
it's in the walls. Maybe
he's in the goddamn walls?
clever
the
girl.
poor cow and goat, just innocent bystanders.
Whatever, it's dope.
Checking the walls for weaknesses systematically.
It's so good.
It really is. Every part of this movie is well thought out, well done.
The scenes are perfect. Like
Yes.
the hot air blown from the Raptors' schnoz
Right.
onto the
on
glass.
window.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, the T-Rex coming through the roof.
Hold on. So let's go back to that scene in particular. Any other movie, that is a horror scene.
Oh, 100%. She was saying that earlier.
Right.
Sarah was mentioning that earlier.
Like,
That's fucking...
They're coming in, they're making
pretty
weird sounds.
serious.
They're stalking slowly. There's no
That-
music. You know,
the,
just
no-
a,
the noise in this, the audio in this is the
or however-
the audio is the best. That scene specifically, top tier fucking audio,
Oh,
right?
yeah.
The pans
yeah.
clinking around,
There you go.
the toenail going. That shit's
Sorry, here.
fucking dope. Yeah, it's
You
so
got it
good.
better.
It's so
Another
good.
thing I wanted to say is kind of what you just touched on. Even though this movie has one of the most like recognizable soundtracks, there's not a lot of scenes with music in it.
It's perfect. It makes you sit inside your brain.
Exactly. So the whole T-Rex scene where all the power goes out and they're sitting there,
So good.
and it's just like he, gets the goggles out. Are they heavy? Yeah. Well, then they're probably expensive.
It's perfect.
He sees that the goat's gone. Okay. One
Where'd the goat go?
One other thing I want to say. They make it seem like he throws that goat leg with his arm. Because the T-Rex. It makes it seem like, because they show the T-Rex hand over the fucking, the wires like pulling back. Like, hey, I just threw that.
No.
What do
He
you,
definitely
No.
he lofts that with his
He's
mouth.
no,
Fucking just-
he's like
let me
eating
pick
it, and because he's tall, he's eating it, and it like
but then why is his arm over the wires?
because he's testing that shit.
But why wouldn't he do it with his head? Because he would have had to done like this. Like,
First of all, if we're gonna talk about holes in that scene,
okay, let's go.
it's the
I know what you're gonna
fucking
say.
cliff. Where is it?
Okay,
Before that,
hold on. They make
I've looked up sketches.
me too, and they show that
They
it's
show what it should like. No, here's the thing. But also, Steven Spielberg has even said before. So what? Like he won't even explain it.
Thank
He's just
you.
like, so
Yeah.
what? Like,
because there is a logical plot hole there. Because where the T-Rex comes out,
he's at their level. His
Is-
feet are right there.
but also where he comes out is where the truck goes over. Because that's the only part where the wires are clipped. Because he clips them.
Not technically.
Technically, I checked today because I was like,
You-
this is the only bothering part of me from this movie that I'm like, this doesn't make any sense. But they did say earlier in the movie that in the T-Rex paddock there was a gorge or something as well. They say something along the lines of that.
But
So
there are trees down there.
and also, Laura gets down there. Well, what's her fucking?
She
real
gets
name?
down there really fast.
Right now, I get
And
why.
back up really fast.
I get why because it's a scene and you're trying to make all this stuff happen. But she got down there. How did she get down there? You rappel down there
How
or
would
something?
they know?
Doesn't
How
matter.
would they know?
None of this is important.
That's which is basically what he said. But there
Very
are,
true,
if you
'cause
look
the
up
movie-
Let's
sketches,
move this
they
fucking
have
story forward.
made-
It's fucking too good.
they have like I've seen online, like there are sketches of what the scene was, and it's showing that his paddock ends before that cliff technically, which is also why if you watch the scene where it shows the cars from far away coming out of that tunnel, like before when it's still daylight,
Mhm.
the fence doesn't even go all the way to the tunnel. And it says, like, if you look into it, it's because it doesn't need to, because there's nothing down there. Like, there's a cliff there, so the fence doesn't need to go all the way to the
I
tunnel.
guess.
Maybe,
If we're all-
maybe it was like a
all this
barranca.
stuff.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe like a drainage thing.
It's
Like
driven me nuts
Probably.
my whole adult life now that I've realized it doesn't make sense. But,
Yeah.
like, which is why I've looked into this online
Things
before.
look closer than they appear. That mirror
It's
scene.
so good.
It's fucking. As I'm saying, there's so many gems where
Great
you could
shots.
tell. Yeah, well, there's a tender love and care in so many different scenes of this movie.
Life
Well, and I think that's
finds a
what
way.
the sequels really miss is specifically. Let's go to the Jurassic World sequels. It's all just fucking flash,
It's go
100%.
like the whole time.
right?
Except for the beginning
Quantity
of the
before
first
quality.
one, where they're like they don't show the
Yeah.
big Project Dinosaur like right away, and he's scary when you first see him in the.
But they're just
In
going
his
bigger.
pattern.
They did. I don't think. Look, I've said this before. I don't think they ever needed to go more grand with a good sequel for this.
No.
They could have brought it right back to like they're just the Raptors in a small fucking area, lights out.
Oh yeah,
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? It's an alien,
exactly. But with Raptors.
but with Raptors
That'd
kind
be
of thing.
tight, yeah.
They're the
What
goddamn
I
boys!
love in the thing,
Don't
though,
go into the
like
long
when
grass.
they even say like what like they're like why is it white? Like when they're showing it and they're kind of like and they're like because
what she
it's
said.
terrifying.
Right.
Like
That's what she said.
you don't see that. It
I think
looks
they
like it's
tried to
fucking
be.
creepy.
I think Jurassic World tried to be more meta than it let on. It was trying to say, "Oh, we got to make it bigger. It's sponsored by this and all." Like, I get it, but also, well, there's a line in the movie where she goes, kids don't find dinosaurs terrifying anymore.
so we have to do something.
right?
Yeah.
Okay, but also in a world in which dinosaurs are real and I can go there, that's never not going to be fucking like
Look,
amazing.
In
No,
my opinion, yeah.
Yeah, it's not about finding something. It's about making it terrifying.
True.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
But also, to your point, as far as in the second Jurassic World, that one that they engineered in that one is scarier than the big one in the first one, where it's like an Indoraptor or whatever it is.
We designed this thing where you have to point a gun at something and say, "Okay, go kill it."
Yeah.
But I already got the gun pointed at it, so I could just kill it without the dinosaur. But that's not cool.
It's also.
But you know what I mean?
stupid.
Like to that point though,
Yeah.
that thing it's bigger than a raptor, but it's not nearly the size of the
You're
one
right.
in the first movie or a T-Rex. And that thing is creepier
So,
than both of those.
The
Because
second,
it's got those long and it's black. It's like jet black.
I will say, the second half or the last 40, 30 minutes of the second Jurassic World movie is an entirely different movie. It turns back
It's,
into a
like,
horror
dark.
movie. Yeah.
Yeah. That thing is scary.
Lean into that. That's what I want to see. I don't want to see a fucking raptor scene in which Chris Pratt is on a motorcycle brapping through the fucking Mali or wherever they are, just like
It's Prattin.
Yeah,
Pratt.
you son of a bitch. Anyways, I don't want to see that. I watch Fast and Furious, right? I don't need that with dinosaurs.
Yeah, like starved fucking raptors.
Right.
Maybe 2 ways out.
Okay, so remember in The Lost
You
World,
know.
there's a part where they got to run from the bushes to that, like, warehouse, right?
Yeah.
And there's the scene where Jeff Goldblum's in the truck and the raptor's, like, muzzling his way through the fucking
Yeah,
window.
yeah.
That's what they need to have, is a movie like
Oh,
that.
that was great.
Right, where
That was great.
you're on an island and it's like, well, shit, we need to, kind of like Jurassic World or Jurassic Park 3, where they were paragliding or whatever, and hey, we ended up crashing on this island. Fuck.
Yeah. Dude,
Give me that.
call me Jurassic Escape. Fucking call the
Ooh,
movie, and
Jurassic
your job is to get to a fucking boat. Kind of like, I guess so. The third one was kind of like that. Was Isla Nublar, that
what I'm
fucking
saying,
that
yeah,
other
yeah, yeah,
island
yeah.
was
It's
kind
B.
of like that. The kid was stuck on the island the whole time.
No,
That had a
Isla
notable
Nublar was the first island.
Isla Sorna,
Isla
whatever.
Sorna
that
is
fucking,
the second.
but
island.
that had one good scene. It had a couple good scenes. A lot of shit also, but
Alan.
but the fucking phone that it eats and it goes off. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was good. I
That
like
is great.
That
Yeah.
shit.
Look, that movie was like Lake Placid, but with dinosaurs to me.
Yeah,
like just the
100%.
whole ending and everything. But they had a great idea, and I have this even better idea. You ready for it?
Shoot fight.
It's gonna be in the Jurassic Park universe, but we're not gonna say that it's Jurassic Park. You're not gonna know that it's Jurassic Park. But same kind of idea, right? Where a couple people are in a boat, they're out fishing, and a big
Like you
storm
name
comes.
it something inconspicuous.
Exactly.
That doesn't like give it away.
Right. Something island escape, something, whatever. But there's these people fishing on this boat out in the ocean, like by a big whatever, and there's a huge storm and it washes them ashore because their boat gets fucked up and they're on this island, and they're trying to fucking survive. And all of a sudden, things at night start hearing weird shit. Somebody gets pulled away and they're gone, whatever. And through the whole movie, you don't know that they're
Scary.
dinosaurs,
See?
right? you just think it's something fucking wild, but you make it seem more supernatural almost, right? How these people are getting picked off one by one. But what comes to happen is it's a pack of fucking raptors.
And they're just fucking systematically hunting
exactly.
your ass.
And then at the end, you see like in a rainstorm, one of them just kind of sit up out of like there's like a bonfire or something. It comes over, and it's just like
and the light from the fire is like on their face.
And then you hear the fucking calls and whatever, and then they just fucking rip you open.
They just leave.
Yep.
They just go away.
Yep. And then they kill
just back
everybody. Hold on.
into the woods.
They kill everybody.
Sign it now.
They kill everybody but one guy, and that's the end of the movie. Is all his friends are just fucking strung up, dead, eaten, and he's by himself now on the fucking island.
Yeah, just finds like corpses.
Yeah.
Dude, I like the idea. There's got to be the stakes have to be them trying to escape though.
Well, yeah, obviously.
Yeah, they get so far in. Let's go on a camping trip.
Right, but you see more and more stuff. Like as they get deeper and deeper into the island, you start seeing and unearthing what's going on and seeing that it is Jurassic Park or something. Maybe like
this is a great
40
idea.
years in the future or something.
You can even go back to the other one, right? Storm's over.
You're
One
right.
dude's left behind.
Left behind.
He's been left behind. He's just chilling. He's got to get the fuck out of there.
Yeah.
So they had to have sent rescue shit after that, right?
You would think.
They said they're the last people on the island, but there's no fucking way. There's no way that they're the last guys on the island.
What are you talking about?
The first one. So they evacuated everyone because the storm was coming through.
Oh, Jurassic Park.
Yeah, the first Jurassic
one
Park.
we're talking about
But there's
now.
no way they got rid of everybody. There's no way.
No. Well, they knew it was coming, but also this was like the end of the shift or something because they were
like
closing
going
up
home
shop.
for the weekend.
Yeah.
And shit.
But then
I thought they were getting rid of him because the storm was fucking.
Well, I think
on
it
its
was
way in.
both. I think they had to be out by a certain time because of the storm, but
no, so they didn't know about the storm until later because
Okay.
even when Nedry's meeting Dodson in the beginning of it,
they're like, we
he's
can't
like,
wait anymore.
I'm leaving at this point in time on the ship. You better make sure you guys here at this time. I've already planned it out. It takes 50
because
minutes
they're
or whatever.
watching the storm and they're like, maybe it'll go south.
Exactly. So it's
it
not
doesn't.
about that. I think there's a shift change, or it was literally, hey, we're just doing this for this weekend for these people, and the storm's coming, and this is when it's over.
So a quick storm, because it's only raining for a very small part of the movie.
Just overnight. Little wind, little
Not
rain.
even, because it's not raining when they're getting the boy out of the tree and stuff when they're in the car. It's
yeah,
not
it's
really,
literally,
it's not
it's
raining.
quick. You're right. It's so right after the truck gets pushed over the cliff, it's over. But then don't they show Nedry after that?
After that. So the rain doesn't stop yet there. They just don't show them again until after they show his part. Because then they show them again and they have to
guess
get
you're
the
right.
boy out of the
I
tree.
guess you're right. You're right. Yeah, Nedry's thing happens, and then
So I think it's
happens.
supposed to be like consecutive time
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
happening, but they have to like go back
yeah,
and
yeah,
forth.
yeah,
But
I mean, okay.
yeah, I mean, shit. When he's driving
Someone
through,
has to be there, is what I'm saying.
when
Right,
he's
yeah.
driving through, there's like floods and shit. It's a downpour, and then they show
It's also a big island.
the kids back on, or him with the kids and stuff, and it's not raining at all anymore.
Right. Again, if it's that big of an island, it could be hitting where he's trying to get off
Oh,
on
yeah,
the
sure.
right, the edge of the island.
Because even when they're in the Jeeps and it's raining, it's not downpour. It's raining, but it's not like
Right.
hurricane raining.
Which it should be with Nedry. You're right. Runtime on this guy, 127
That was
minutes.
those Gallimimus.
When
When I am playing my game and I'm looking for an easy,
Jurassic-
cheap
what is
dinosaur to
it?
put in there, it's that. Huh?
What is it? Jurassic
It's Jurassic
World.
Well, it's Jurassic Evolution.
That's what it is. Yeah.
Jurassic World Evolution and then
2.
Jurassic World Evolution 2, which is better than 1.
But we won't talk about that. Yeah, runtime 127 minutes. Perfect. You need a somewhat of a long runtime for something like this, but also you don't want to stay too long in it.
You gotta have that set up.
You gotta have that set up, boy.
It is though amazing how much they do with this movie, and they don't even really use that many dinosaurs. Like
You're
you
right.
only see 5 species in this whole movie. And
So you got
most
T-Rex,
of
you got the
movie
raptor,
Is,
you got
is
the-
only 2 of the species.
Right, you got the Della, whatever thing, the
Triceratops,
you got the Triceratops,
T-Rex,
Gallimimus,
Brachio. But what's the big one?
Brachiosaurus.
Yeah.
That's like
Wait,
7.
How many did you name?
It's like 7. T-Rex,
Huh?
Velociraptor,
Mhm.
the
Triceratops,
Triceratops, the
Gallimimus,
Gallimimus, the Della, whatever the fuck it is with
the
the big.
Dilophosaurus,
Thank you.
and the Brachiosaurus.
Brachiosaurus.
What's the other one?
Dino
That's-
DNA.
That's it, just those.
Maybe. Yeah. There's one other thing I want to say. So the beginning of the movie, right, when they first see the Brachiosaurus and it stands on its hind legs, It doesn't actually need to stand on its hind legs to reach
I
that.
don't know why it does that. Maybe it did. Maybe it was like,
Because
no,
it's
I'll
fucking
just like.
cool as shit.
Thank you.
I mean, you do see some other ones from afar, obviously when they're out on the water, but you don't really see them. They're not involved.
Right, which it's funny because you see all that, but before they're looking around, they don't see anything. They don't hear that fucking thing walking beside them.
It's awesome.
I know it's the scene. It's the scene, and I'm okay with that. I'm not going to be that guy. Release date June 11th, 1993.
Perfect.
Definitely a summer blockbuster.
Perfect.
I think it did good because guess what? Box office that week, the top 10. When we get to the top 3, we're going to guess what those are in an order. So number 10, Super Mario Brothers.
Oh, yeah.
OG.
That movie is so bad it's good,
Oh, 100%.
but also terrible.
It's mostly terrible because it's Super Mario. It's
Yeah.
fucking awesome.
Number 9, Silver.
Sure.
No
Sure.
idea.
Exactly.
No.
Number 8, Hot Shots Part 2.
Yeah. Hot Shots.
I fucking
Fuck
love
yeah.
those movies. Number 7, Life with Mikey.
Is Mikey
Michael J.
on
Fox?
the spectrum?
Michael J. Fox.
It sounds,
Is it?
that
Life with Mikey. He's like an adult star that's become an agent for children actors.
I think you
Hang
might
on.
be right.
Oh,
I know it.
Life.
I have
with
seen
Mikey.
that. Yep.
I haven't seen it in a long time, but when I was younger, I actually saw it like quite a few times.
Really?
It must have been on TV or something, and it just kept like popping up.
I got you. Number 6, Menace to Society.
Was that a
I feel like I
Dennis
know
the
what that-
Menace movie?
That would
Like
be
I've
funny.
seen that before.
Like, what was the one? Something in the hood, juice in the hood, or something. What was that? You know what I'm talking about? The Damon Wayans.
Juice. That makes me think of Blank Check.
Juice, whatever. Don't. Fuck, what is it? Don't be drinking juice or something in the hood. What the fuck is that movie? It's the Damon Wayans, Marlon Wayans movie.
It sounds like it would be, but I have no idea.
You know
Why does
what
it sound like it would be?
That just by the title he just read sounds like it'd be one of their movies. Drinking Juice in the Hood. Sounds like a black exploitation film.
Don't be a menace to South Central while drinking your juice in the hood. That's
yeah,
it.
yeah,
Yep. It's been a while since I've seen that for sure. Number
whole
5, Dave.
He made a movie.
My father has made a movie. It's about mullets and mustaches. Number
That's
4.
the president, right? Where he's the president.
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
He's doppelganger. He's the president's
Correct.
doppelganger.
Correct. Number 4, Guilty as Sin.
Nope.
Me neither. I
Sounds
don't-
like one of those
But to be
softcore
number
novels.
4, you'd think we would have heard of it. No.
You would think. Let me find out. Guilty.
I think this is when the
as
movies started. This
Sin.
this is when these movies started kicking off, like 94, 95. This is when the 90s golden era.
You all right?
Are you all right?
Oh, she's trying to show her Jurassic
She's
Park.
rubbing
I
her
dressed.
Ooh, this is
chesticles on the mic.
Rebecca
the occasion,
De
you
Mornay,
can't
Don
see it.
Johnson, Stephen Lang, and Jack
Don
Warden.
Johnson.
Rebecca De Mornay is an up-and-coming Chicago attorney. She wins a big case, celebrates with a man in her life, Phil Garson, who is Stephen Lang, and returns to work to a hero's reception. Okay.
That's the
No
whole,
idea.
That's the whole movie? Because that sounds.
Well, there's a pretty big plot that I'm not going to
Lackluster.
read, but I'm good. Top 3, in no particular order that week. Jurassic Park,
Oh yeah.
Made in America, Cliffhanger.
Cliffhanger was fucking good.
Cliffhanger was a big one.
I like Cliffhanger.
Not gonna make you write this one down. You can guess. I'm gonna go Tara first. We're going Tara first.
So what were the 3?
So
I
you
thought
got
that was just
Jurassic
2.
Park,
Jurassic Park,
Cliffhanger, Made in America.
Made in America. Go ahead.
What order do you think they are?
I'm going to put Jurassic Park as 1. Cliffhanger 2. Made in America 3.
What is Made in America?
Obviously, what stuff is not anymore.
I'll show you.
Definitely not the Mega has. Made in America.
Cliffhangers. Sylvester
movie.
Stallone. No idea what
Made
fucking
in America is a
Made in
Tom
America
Cruise
is.
movie.
And Will Smith's in it. What?
Oh, no. This is old. This is a newer one.
Yeah, I'll do the same thing Tara did.
Oh, Whoopi Goldberg and Ted Danson.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with fucking
Jennifer Tilly. Yeah, so it is number
Daughter
1.
of a black career woman who discovers that she is the product of an artificial insemination and that her natural father is a white used car salesman.
How would
Hold on. Wait, so the daughter
We might have
of
to process that one.
of a black woman.
daughter of a black woman
Who's
who is Whoopi Goldberg? I'm assuming.
I guess
who was
so.
artificially inseminated, which could it be a better term for that? That feels
Feels
weird.
juicy.
Or
It feels juicy.
Whoopi is the woman who was artificially inseminated, and the daughter is.
I don't
her
know, but in
daughter.
'93, Whoopi was a little young, right?
Yeah, but
Isn't
so was
that
Ted
when the
Danson.
presidents let you out of jail?
Ted Danson was an old.
Fucking Ted Danson.
All right, what was the order? We guess
It is number 1, Jurassic Park. Number 2, Cliffhanger. Number 3, Made in America. Duh.
Yep.
Duh.
Come on.
The fucking dinosaurs. Budget time. What do we think it cost to make Jurassic Park?
$100 million.
$100 million.
I
Going
was-
straight out the gate.
I was
$100
gonna
million.
Say that too.
You can say 100.
Yeah.
That what you locking that in?
She said that's what
Yeah.
she's gonna say.
Okay, I just made
That's
sure.
what I
said.
Okay,
She's fucking-
motherfucker. I guessed 80 million. You got to think about it, right? There's some stuff in this movie that's kind of one and done. Like these giant fucking T-Rexes they had to make, and they didn't make one. They had to make 2, or they had to make some
Yeah,
other
because
stuff.
there was mix.
This is state of the art shit too.
There was
so.
a mix of like like animatronics. Not. I guess not. Is it still technically CGI, or
Oh,
was
yeah.
it like whatever
100%.
So there's a big deal, and we're going to get to it in the Steve's Fun Facts, that they didn't want to use CGI at first. There's a famous meme going around that the dinosaur guy on this movie was Phil Tippett, and people are like, what the fuck, Phil?
I've seen that.
Phil Tippett is a...
You had one job, Phil.
Yeah, he's a stop motion artist, and he's done a whole bunch of stuff for Star Wars, Indiana Jones, and all this, and they hired him to do the special effects for this. And they were going to do that. And something happened, and that made them go, no. But again, we're going to get to that in Steve's Fun Facts.
Fucking Phil Tippett.
Anyways, I guessed 80 million. The actual budget, 63 million.
Oh. Okay.
Still a lot of money for 93.
Sure,
but,
sure. I guess you have to think about the time period. but-
right. They weren't throwing all the money at movies, right? They're not doing what they're doing now. Like, I'm sure.
Yeah.
What do you think fucking the latest Jurassic World movie?
Well, we
the budget
did.
was? We just did it.
Probably more than that. All
We
the
did it,
dudes,
so we
everyone
can look
was
that up
in there.
without it being a risk because we've already done that movie, but I don't remember what it was.
We gave that movie a trash score. I know that.
That's
Yeah,
the
but
worst.
fuck, you made me watch it. It sucked.
It's the worst of the series of all 6 of them.
What do you think it cost to make that movie?
120.
A lot. They had everyone in there. It was literally just a fucking big payoff
It
of bullshit.
cost $200 million more than this movie to make.
It was upwards of $250 to make this shit. 60
$265 million to make
Jesus Christ.
Jurassic World Dominion, and that's what you put out there.
Quality
Now-
over quantity.
Now here's the problem: that movie grossed over $1 billion.
Yeah, that is the problem. That is the problem
Exactly.
with all of this shit. That are we all
Exactly.
digested that
Because
shit
the
willingly.
movie, it didn't deserve that.
No,
But it was, it's the last one. And here's what they did. They advertised that the old cast was going to be in it. And I tell you what, that's one of the main reasons I watched it.
100%.
I didn't watch it.
But you did.
I didn't pay for this.
But you watched it.
Yeah, 100%. But
Yeah.
I didn't support the.
Right. But the best part of that movie was the OG cast.
I watched it
And
at
they
home.
sucked
I
in
didn't
it,
go to
too.
the movie theater. But
Yeah, they were
I watched
terrible.
it at home. Which we talked about it when you and I did the Dominion
Yeah.
pod. We talked about that because especially Laura Dern, she is not a bad actress. She's
No.
awesome.
Yeah.
And we both were like, I guess she just maybe
Who's
she
Laura
was
Dern?
just-
Which one's that one?
she's the blonde.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Wait,
But
from the
she's-
older ones?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll go questionable in this Jurassic Park. Some of the scenes in this are fucking a little whack.
Is it her acting? You mean?
Yeah,
Yeah. I mean, but,
yeah, especially
but,
this one.
I mean, it's her first handful of it was still in her first handful
Then
of
sure.
movies. But like
Then sure.
she's won
because she's
awards and stuff. I mean,
Yeah.
she's
For other
definitely
stuff,
not
yeah.
for this shit.
No.
she's her.
What do they got in there?
her-
King Kong.
Her like drama. I mean, that show Big Little Lies with Reese Witherspoon and Shailene Woodley and all.
She's
She's
good in that.
awesome in that.
I feel like she acts like a kid would act in this, like a teenager. Like some
Well,
of the scenes.
so I mean, she is
she's the
younger
ol-
though, right?
She's the only
So-
one that I feel like just acts a little funny in this.
See, I didn't have an issue with her.
Dude, the funniest scene, her running, her
Well, she
freaking
was-
out,
she
her
was
she's
screaming.
in shock and
Yeah,
she's
watch it
injured.
again. Just watch.
I know
We
it's
just
fucking
watched it
stupid.
today.
Now watch
Yeah,
it.
I
We
know.
just watched it
Well,
today.
watch it with my eyes now.
Watch it with Walter's eyes.
And go, why does Wally think this is funny? You're gonna go, okay, that's why this is fucking funny.
No, I'm not saying that it's not funny. She definitely runs weird, but
The
I don't think
acting-
it's bad acting. I think it's
I think
it's trauma and shock and injury. And
it's.
how would you do it?
I think it's not bad. It's just mediocre in comparison to everybody else.
Mediocre. Okay. What do we think Jurassic Park 1993 pulled in at the global box office?
$565 million.
Okay, 565.
Did movies make that much money back then?
I don't know. Did they?
I don't know.
Oh, well,
I was trying to think of one that we've done.
After
guess so.
after that, I think this was the biggest one, and then Titanic came afterwards, right? And then
T2.
afterwards,
Oh, maybe. Yeah.
T2 was before this.
yeah, but
T2 made a lot of money.
it made more than this.
T2?
Terminator 2.
I thought this was at one point the most highest grossing movie. Obviously, you hold that for a period of time before the next one comes around. But I'm not sure. I thought this one held it for at least a little bit.
What did you say? 5 what?
565, I think is what I said. Middle 500s.
I'm gonna say, I don't know. I don't.
Know.
I mean, I'm sure that it made a shit ton of money, but for some reason, I just don't. Maybe because we were younger, I just don't remember hearing about movies making that like
a lot of money.
What they're making today, like
Sure.
when you hear about But we're talking like, I mean, think about movies that have come out since we've been teens and
You're
older,
right.
like
You're right.
all the Marvel movies and stuff like that. I mean,
Mhm.
they're
Yeah.
making bank every single time. I'm gonna say 400 million.
400 million.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
I mean, I hope that it made a shit ton.
I
is what
guess.
I'll say, but
Did you hit the billion markers?
I guessed 800 million.
okay.
I went up there. I was like, this movie.
My thing, like I say, is Shrek.
Shrek.
Do you remember what Shrek 2 was?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Shrek was 700 and some odd million.
And it's mind-boggling.
I think I just
Mind-boggling.
Yeah.
I just don't think of old I don't know.
So T2 in 91
it's-
Go ahead.
made 520 million.
Oh shit. Okay. This one.
So I had to do some research on this because
Oh.
I wanted to make sure I was
Juicy
getting
deets.
the 1993 box office. Because if you look it up, all the box office is tied to the re-releases they have done over the years.
Oh.
In 2011, 2014, 2018, 2021, they released it back into theaters. So all that goes back to the box office if you look it up. That box office is over $1 billion.
I think it would be cool to see this in the theaters.
It would be.
Dude, it'd be fuck. I'd go see it in a heartbeat.
I not only would go see this in the
Go
movie
ahead,
theater.
Steve. Go ahead. This is
I
killing me
would
right
do
now.
a day in the movie theater and watch the 3. You know what I mean? Like the original. I would sit
watch
and
the
just
2.
roll them
I think
back.
I don't
back to
think
back.
I would do 3.
I think
would
I'd
do
watch
2.
the first one or the second one individually.
IMAX, baby.
Yeah.
So, like I said, overall, in its entire run from 93 through now, it's over $1 billion.
Sure.
But
Just in 93.
just in 93, its opening weekend, it made $47 million. Overall, it made $978.1 million.
Jesus
Just in
Christ.
1993.
Well, that run went through 94. It was in theaters for almost a year.
That's gonna come along with the rating I give this later.
They're fucking wild.
Yeah.
They're fucking
My rating
wild.
my rating was already going to be
Go
substantial.
ahead, dude. That's
but-
fucking crazy though. That's fucking wild.
Now, think about this. Going from 978 in 93 and then crossing over to $1 billion, and I think it sits at 1.4 billion or something. Think about what it made only in those theater runs from like 1997 and up.
Which those theater runs weren't long. Like
I
when they
wonder-
re-release, it's for like here
A weekend
and then they
or
pull
2
it back.
weekends.
I wonder
Yeah.
if anyone got a percentage deal on this when they first
Phil
did it.
Tippett did.
Did he really?
Yep.
Oh, so dude, fucking sitting pretty.
Fucking Phil
Fucking-
Tippett.
Yep. Because he was mad. We're going to get to it later, but he did. Yeah. It's pretty good.
Man,
It's pretty
he never
it's a
had
good
to do
story.
anything again.
That's fucking cool, man.
He
He actually
did
did
one, too.
So there's a really good
Is he still alive?
tested video on YouTube. So Jamie Heineman and Mythbusters. Why can't I think of his other name? Adam Savage. They had a YouTube channel called Tested. It's now just Adam Savage. But Adam went in, visited Phil Tippett's studio, and it's worth a watch. It's real fucking wild. Everything he's worked on, the stuff that's in there. He has the original King Kong puppet
or the
from the
thing.
1920 movie in there. It's like this big.
That's
Like, it's
so
fucking
fucking
it's
cool.
crazy. Anyways, tomatometer time. The Rotten Tomatoes score, the Rotty Teas. What do we think critics and audience gave it out of 100%?
All of the tomatoes.
Not
all of them.
All
Both
of
these
the
live in the
tomatoes.
90s. I'm gonna
90s, easily
I'm gonna go
90s.
91, 90. No. I'm gonna go 94,
94 for
Audience.
audience.
and I'm gonna go critics 92.
92. Okay, Tara.
I'm going to go 91
You pick.
critics.
such a sweet man.
I'm gonna go 91 critics.
91 critics.
And I'm gonna. You said 94 for
Are you
audience.
underbidding me right now?
Yeah. 91, but like just.
You know what? I'm going to switch from now on when we do these. I'm going to get the long Bob Barker mic just to do these parts.
Just to like.
Just
Right.
hang it over your head.
I'm gonna do
Plug it in
91 critics. 90.
If you say 93, I'm going to punch you in the butthole.
No, I'm gonna say 96 audience. 91 critics, 96 audience.
Sure.
So
So I'll under you on critics, over you on audience.
Gotcha.
I guess critics 92, audience 95.
We're all
in the same
right
spot.
there.
We're all in the same spot.
I
Let's be
think no
real.
one's wrong. Today.
Who's ever
I
said
think no one's wrong today.
Jurassic Park 93 movie? That movie
Bad.
fucking sucks.
Yeah.
Fuck that shit.
Critics 91, audience 91.
Oh, shit.
Straight down
The
the middle.
same.
Wow.
IMDb score 8.2.
Ew. Who? Fired.
That's the first
That's
time
why
I've
we don't
disagreed
do
with
that
IMDb.
Yeah, get that guy out of there.
Yeah,
Who's
what are you
that?
doing?
Get him
What are you
out of
doing?
there.
I fucking was dude, motherfucker.
Damn.
All right.
What's the Google one? Did it say?
I don't pay attention to that. You gonna say something?
No. I'm
You
just
want to fight?
angry.
You want to fight?
What the fuck?
Who was our favorite character in this movie? Anybody can take it.
Jeff Goldblum.
I feel like
Intriguing.
I feel like
He's hilarious.
the T-Rex was my.
You can. I mean, that's a character.
I like that he comes in
Sure.
at the end.
She.
Sorry, you're right. You're right. I'm sorry. She comes in at the
You
end.
two jump on any opportunity to correct one another.
It's perfect.
She comes in at the end
Yeah,
and fucks shit up,
which is awesome.
and then just announces to the world
And the banner
When the
falling.
dinosaurs.
yes, when the
rule
banner's
world.
falling, that
Fucking
like
goddamn so good.
Queen.
I will say this:
Yes, Queen.
out of any director, Steven Spielberg has the biggest, like, this is the scene moments I've ever seen.
It's so good.
Think about every movie
So
he's ever
good.
done. There's that scene, right? Jaws, this movie,
Yeah.
E.T., fucking Schindler's List, those fucking same property. Like every
Dude,
one of these
don't-
movies has
He's
that.
got quite
That's
the
the
career.
that's
doesn't
the
he?
Oh yeah,
thinking about that.
This little guy, this little director
Is
no one's ever
great.
heard of.
Little.
A lot of these movies come out too strong. They just fucking a lot
Yeah.
of these movies try too
You
hard.
don't need to.
Yeah,
You gotta breathe.
yeah.
Let
He's
them breathe.
letting everything live. Let the scenes live. Let the concepts live, and then fucking give them the big show.
That's and he gives him the big show.
See?
Like I want to see Steven Spielberg do a movie like this again, but he won't because he's. I don't want to say he's above it, but he's just. I've done it, right?
Yeah.
I don't need to prove myself again. But I
And
feel
he
like,
doesn't, but
but to me, it would be a kick in the pants to cinema to say, hey, look, this is how it's done.
I can still come out and I can still do what I
Right.
do.
Swinging.
and-
Exactly.
Dick
Like
is swinging.
he just takes back the Jurassic Park fucking franchise and says, "You ready for this?"
yeah,
We're
yeah.
gonna fix this
In the
right
face.
now.
Yeah.
we're gonna correct this.
But he don't care because he's getting money from it.
He doesn't.
So
He doesn't.
like,
Yeah.
and he's just allowed to do what he wants. And you know what? I don't blame him.
I will
Definitely
say.
golden ticket. I'm sure.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. If he's like, yo, let's do this, everyone's like, yeah. It doesn't matter who.
I
you
don't.
are.
I don't think there's probably 3 people in Hollywood that could say
Scorsese.
Scorsese, James Cameron,
yeah.
and Spielberg
Yeah,
could
yeah.
just say, "Hey guys,
Yeah, exactly.
I want to make a movie about a dude who's gonna shit on a can." That's it, and they'll be like,
I'm
"Okay,
in.
Yeah, let's go."
What actors do you want?
Leonardo
List 'em.
DiCaprio.
List 'em.
Well, that's
Him
I
in
was
a
gonna,
dark room. He's
I
just
was-
sweating. He's like, ah.
well, I was gonna follow up with that. Is not
Spins a dreidel.
not just to make the movie like the people signing
Wins all
on,
the
but
Oscars.
actors. You get a call from
Oh,
any
yeah.
of those guys,
Oh, yeah.
and you're like, sure, yeah, done.
Well, I mean, right now it
What do I
seems
get?
like
McDonald's gift card? Done.
Done.
Sure.
Yeah. It seems
Fine.
like any movie Scorsese makes, Leonardo DiCaprio is the first guy
They're
that's just like,
buddies. I feel like at this point they're
When
just
you're
like,
that
"I'm
good,
here again,"
man.
right? Yeah.
When you can act like that.
Right, and well, it's a
He's
dependable
fucking-
thing
he's
too,
got
right?
it,
you
man.
you got obviously they're probably friends or they're just very good at working together and getting the most out of each other. So why wouldn't you go back
Yo,
to
100%.
what works?
100%.
also still a travesty that it took that man so long to get a fucking
Yeah,
Oscar.
we don't need
Like,
to have this
Eh.
conversation.
insane.
I still think that he won for the wrong movie, but
Oh, yeah.
also look what he's up against every year that he went up against something. Genre-defining fucking performances, and he's doing great work, but you can't compete.
Some of the other ones, I liked The Martian. I thought The Martian was fucking
Matt,
great. Yeah.
Well,
But that
also-
year was a little funky for me.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah.
Also,
come on.
what I liked,
Political my balls.
not liked, but like
Ma-
with The Martian,
Bow.
he had to carry that movie a lot on his own. You know, like
That
a
was
lot
Castaway.
of those scenes.
That was
So that's-
Castaway in space.
Yeah,
my God.
yeah.
It was
And,
so good.
and that's a lot
Wow.
when you're just one person
Right?
and you're
Yeah.
you're carrying.
I'm gonna science
you know
the
what I mean?
shit out of this.
But
I'm gonna make potatoes.
it's so many
Dude,
potatoes.
he's like, I'm a space pirate. I'm the first space pirate.
Dude, you know what? I'm not a huge Matt Damon guy,
But I
but there's
like
always
him.
roles where I'm like, you know what? All right, good for
He's
you,
a
guy.
likable fellow.
was
I
great.
feel
Yeah.
like.
It's not like I'm like, oh fuck Matt Damon. It's just if there's a movie where it's like, oh, starring Matt Damon, I'm like, all right.
I think Matt Damon comes back from Mars.
Ooh.
And then
Into the Jurassic Park,
no.
shoots right down from space.
And then he fucking jumps out Interstellar,
oh shit.
makes it back home, and then finally you end back on The Martian where you see him old and teaching again.
God damn it. All right.
Anyways.
My favorite character was Muldoon just because that dude was a badass. Just
Oh, hands down.
everything that he does in this movie is cold, calculated, and the same as the Raptors.
Muscles-
I
He
feel like
out.
he was like
Yeah.
the crocodile hunter of this movie. You know what I mean?
Crikey.
He's like,
I mean, yes.
He's the one that knows.
yeah.
yeah.
He just knows. He's like, I've been around this. I've already seen it. This is what's happening. This is a terrible idea, but
oh
I'm
yeah.
here.
Right. You're paying
'Cause
Well,
I
that's-
need to be here.
Because that's what's funny is it's before they did this, no one has any experience with dinosaurs. No one.
He's
But he
what?
comes in and he's like, yeah, I
I got
He's
it.
watching.
I got
Yeah.
it. He's like, you don't
Well,
understand.
probably I've done so much. What else
Why
is
not?
there?
This is
Right.
the next step.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like the guy in the second one, he's a hunter, and so he's like, I have to take down the biggest predator. Like, this is what I do.
yeah. Which
That was.
That's the worst.
I need a male. I need a buck.
right. That was always the worst scene for me is when they break the kid's leg just to trap the
Ugh.
the parents.
I mean,
Whatever the fucking it's making the
And
noise.
what's sad is that they kind of get punished for helping, like the other people get
Right,
punished
exactly,
for helping
yeah.
because they don't know, they're
Right.
dinosaurs. Dinosaurs.
Dinosaurs.
fun.
God damn it! That whole scene though in the second one where they're
you think that was
sleeping.
you think that was a Jim Beam book bag?
Sleeping.
No, holding her. Like when he was like, grab the book bag, and it breaks through the glass.
Your lucky pack. It looked like it, didn't it?
Yeah,
The LL
yeah.
I remember
Bean, yeah.
looking. I was like,
Is one
a
of the
Jim Beam?
most anxiety-inducing scenes.
the glass
I feel
breaking.
like-
All right,
Great.
we're gonna talk about that scene because it's the only problem I have in that movie. Is why would the whole fucking
Just
be one sheet of glass? It wouldn't be a sheet of glass. That's terrible engineering, but also it saves some lives. So maybe
when it
Why
also
would you
goes
bring
through,
that?
when it falls and it goes around them,
Yeah.
and they're just
Oh, dude,
Off-road
it's
sitting
so
there.
utilities.
Oh my god! And then they're just
Double
left
RV?
there. They're just left there floating over.
it's amazing.
cliff.
It's amazing.
The trucks were cool. The winches and all that shit.
everything.
It was dope.
Everything was cool.
That fucking seat that
Comes out and then just goes right back in.
It's dope.
I had that
Shit's
toy.
dope.
I still have it. I have the RV set, dude, with the fucking.
What I like- I know
That,
we'll-
the RV doesn't make any sense.
I know we'll
Makes
do
perfect
the
sense.
second
Yeah, the
one.
accordion shit doesn't make
It
any
makes
fucking
perfect sense.
It doesn't make any
We'll
sense.
do the second one eventually, but I
Oh,
do
yeah.
like that they included so many more dinosaurs in this because, like I said,
That's the idea, right?
That's what I said. I
Bigger,
wish
grander.
that you had seen more, but the first one was the first one. You were kind of like building, and you were focused on the
Right.
scary ones. You
Right.
were focused on the scary
And then
dinosaurs.
Jurassic World Dominion says we're gonna have a dinosaur black market.
all the
that makes
dinosaurs,
sense.
all the dinosaurs,
Right.
Even ones that didn't exist. We're gonna have all of them.
Because
Why not
science.
close it out with all of the dinosaurs?
Stupid. Favorite part of scene in Jurassic Park.
Oh yes, this is great. There's so many. Every scene is so good. Every intense scene is fucking top tier.
The one thing I want to say too is this movie is so well paced.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
It ramps in such a way that it gets you excited off the jump. So you're like, oh my God, something, okay, shit's going to go down.
Dinosaurs.
Right. But then also,
Dinosaurs.
hold on, but then it also builds that from there being super like in your face and this dude just got murdered by we don't know what. We barely saw it. Then it gives you the whole story of why they're there, why they're going.
You kind of forget.
Exactly. Until
Yeah.
shit starts going wrong.
And you starts creeping back into your brain like,
Okay.
oh, this is about to get a little wild.
I have a couple things I want to say as far as the scenes go.
Yep.
So I think what I would put, even though I was just talking earlier about how in this movie it's the most anxiety-inducing scene, I think I'm putting the kitchen scene with the kids
Oh, yeah.
up there.
Oh,
because
yeah.
they did that so well. You're like staying quiet while you're watching it because
Oh, yeah.
you're like,
Well, also, again, there's no music. It's so
Yeah,
good.
yeah.
And it's just
I'm sure I don't know if that was the first place to do it, but it's that putting you in your own thoughts in that own headspace.
Jaws was the same way though. But that was
Jaws
on
do that
accident
also?
too, right? Where it was literally just dum 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 dum
Yeah.
dum 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 dum.
Yeah, but this doesn't give you shit.
Exactly. But
It gives
Jaws
you a little layup and then dumps to nothing but breath.
Jaws did that as well.
and
where
it doesn't
would
cut
just-
up the scene. It's showing like they finish that out before they go anywhere. But like even all the way through, when he decides to run into the ice,
Mhm.
what's it called? Claw,
Excuse me.
the fridge.
whatever, the ice box,
Ice
whatever
box,
it is.
sure.
And he slips
Yeah.
and is like trying to get his traction to like get out. You're like, oh God, it's gonna get him.
So-
And
Or
then
even
she
the-
looks so silly when she comes running at the door with her arms out, but it
But
just
why wouldn't
is
you do
like,
that? Yeah.
Yeah.
Also,
Here's my thing. The
yeah.
other one that's in there missed all of that, but sees them run out of the room, but
Mhm.
missed the whole, like it could have come up behind them at any time and gotten them. But I guess it was still getting itself up after it fell on the floor.
Could
It
be.
ran
'Cause it hit
into
into
the fucking
and
the stove.
And it fell on the side, but it was still moving. So it's not like it knocked it out.
Well,
It just
probably
took it
stunned
that
it,
long
yeah.
to get up and like.
Stunned that little bird brain.
But even that last little bit when they're running out and it just slowly like watches them leave the room. Ugh.
Also, that wasn't the big one in there,
It
right?
wasn't.
Those are just the two little ones that were there.
Yeah.
Because the big one's locked up.
Uh-huh.
You know what happens to the big one? Exactly. It's just living there.
Horror movie. That's it.
Mm,
That's
what
the
I'm
one.
saying. Yeah. Look,
next
I've
one.
always wanted a Dino Crisis movie,
Yeah.
but they're never gonna make it because
Yeah.
it's a Jurassic Park, whatever. But also, just fucking make it,
It's a couple bros, right?
right?
Loved the idea of dinosaurs. Went to this
Dinosaurs.
They go
island
to
just to
explore
check
the
them out.
island.
They go to check them out. Fucking terror ensues. They find some guns. They try to make it out.
I'm
Good
here.
luck.
I'll watch it.
Godspeed.
One
Another
of them has a
scene-
spear gun. That's it. Just one shot.
Oh, yeah,
one
yeah,
shot.
Yeah. It's all you get.
It's all you got.
Make it count.
Yeah. But I mean, it's a fucking. So when you use it,
Dude, I think my favorite scene is the whole part of with that. I know I made fun of her acting earlier, but her running through the forest and then trying to get the power grid on.
okay.
That suspenseful
We're
part.
getting down into the and like
You
Oh
said
my God, when
that
it-
gave you anxiety for like the
Yeah,
kid portion
yeah.
of it and the kids in the kitchen. Mine was that part because again, it just fucking dumps. It just completely dumps out, and you're stuck with her getting from point A to point B,
Yeah.
and then it dumps into darkness.
when that raptor
And it's
pops its
red.
head through like the cables and
It's,
stuff.
it's
oh, man.
red. It's like that is a horror. That is a horror sequence.
Oh, yeah.
Everything- There's maybe 3 horror sequences in this part. That is by far like that. She's by herself. That's one of the moments where there's only one person.
Actually, when you think about it, every interaction with a dinosaur after the T-Rex gets out is a horror scene.
Yeah, 100%.
Even later when they go to go to the jeeps to try to get the kids and the T-Rex is following them
Yeah.
in the
Oh,
jeep.
yeah.
When it starts gaining and
Yeah.
he's laying
His
there
legs
facing it,
just-
he's
Must go
trying
faster,
to
must go
scoot
faster,
back,
must go faster.
and he's trying to scoot back like even further. Nowhere
Well, the best
for him
part,
to go, but
the
he's
best
like,
part is he's like put it in 5th gear and he
and then he
hits it out of gear.
Oh God!
It's so good. It's so everything is calculated in this. And also one thing I wanted to bring up is all the dinosaurs act like animals. There's nothing over the top. There's nothing like, hey,
yeah. There's no
Listen
it's
to me.
There's
Well,
no
that's
there's
one of the-
no
malevolence. There's just
no, like
hey,
we
fucking-
could be bros and we're talking to each other, but we're not, or anything like that. They're fucking animals. What are they doing?
Yeah,
They're hungry.
We're gonna eat something.
Exactly.
And you're there.
Right.
One of the other scenes I wanted to bring up, though, well, two, like, they're not whole scenes, though. They're just like
Whatever.
little blips, is when he does knock over the bathroom and the T-Rex, she sees the guy sitting on the toilet
fucking-
and she just kind of like tilts her head
Yeah,
almost
like,
a little bit like,
What's going on here? Just for me?
are you something? And then she just is like, yeah, I got
Not
it.
eating this one. It smells like shit.
And when he climbs up
Fuck it.
into the tree to get the boy and he's like trying to move slowly through but the boy's just like, I threw up. And he's like, that's
good.
That's okay.
That's
That's fine.
There's a lot of themes here, and there's a lot of character growth that not a lot of people or not a lot of other movies do, right? Like, think of the newer Jurassic World movies. What is there in character growth?
Yeah.
Think of a character arc for fucking Chris Pratt.
None.
No, he doesn't have it. I mean, she does.
A little bit.
Bryce has a little bit because
Sure.
she's at this
A
point like
corporate-
a robot, corporate.
Oh, now
money
she cares about
thing.
dinosaurs.
What's with the
Ooh.
And
chick-
the kids because she
newest-
has to jump into like, oh my God, those are like, because she's the aunt or whatever.
guess,
Like,
sure.
but,
The newest movie,
which
right?
did
Steve was
anyone-
like, "We got to watch this. It
the
sucks."
last one.
We gotta
I'm
watch it
like,
because it's so
I'm
bad.
like, all right, let's watch this.
Yeah.
And then there was the chick in the plane, the
Yeah,
random
what the fuck?
chick
What the
flying
fuck?
the plane.
Mhm.
The fuck that was one of that. I was already out of it, but if I wasn't completely out, that fucking was.
You know what
done.
it was? There was a guy that went, "We forgot a black chick.
Probably.
We need a black person in
I
this."
like her. Like I've seen her in other things, though, and
Sure,
I like her.
but
I did think it was a weird,
Story
like,
wise, it's fucking
like
dumb.
drop her in there type of thing.
So what I was trying to say is there's a very, very good scenes with Grant where he does not like kids. He doesn't want kids. He wants nothing to do with kids. But
Yeah.
yet, hold on,
He gets stuck with them.
what happens? He doesn't want.
responsible
Hold on.
for them.
He doesn't want to be in the fucking Jeep with them, right? Or sorry, Ford Explorer. And so he goes with the other three, and then the lawyer fucking runs, and he's now stuck with him. So there's a beautiful scene where the tree or the Jeep, sorry, Ford Explorer's in the tree, and he's down with the girl, and he's like, "Look, I need to go up there and get him. Wait here." And she's
He
freaking
loved
out,
us.
right? And he's like, "Don't worry, I won't do that.
I'm not doing that.
Right? And that to me, you're like, "Whoa, dude."
Perfect.
He doesn't like kids. He doesn't need kids, but yet in the moment, he knows exactly what to do. In the tree,
Yeah.
after the Jeep. Well, I mean, you brought that up. Where he's like, "I threw up." He's like, "It's okay. It's fine.
fine.
It
You're good."
don't matter."
I love
I would have
Jeff,
too.
right? Because he goes out and he fucking has the thing. He's like, "Ooh,
Yeah,
hoof," and then chucks it, and Goldblum comes out, fucking hero move,
but
Try-
stupid.
yeah,
but
thinking he's
dumb
helping.
as shit. And he starts running. He's like, "Oh!" and he throws it, and then gets the dude eating off the toilet.
Well, and that's the whole thing too, right? Is he goes out there and does exactly what needs to be done. He doesn't do anything. He stands
Doesn't
there,
do anything extra. Just
throws
like
it. It
distract.
goes to follow it.
Yep.
But then Jeff Goldblum gets out
Jeff.
like, and he's like, "What do? You fucking idiot! You're ruining
It's
all
so
this."
good.
Right. So then
And he
there's
tells him, he even tells him to freeze.
Right.
He's like, Ian, freeze, and he
Yeah.
doesn't.
Right. Just got to listen to the guy that knows, right? But again, chaos, and he's being chaos.
He is chaos.
Exactly. Which again, it's themes, right? Anyway, so what I'm saying is he goes through a huge character arc in this movie where at first he's like, "Fuck kids. I'm gonna fuck this kid up in the beginning who challenges me," and then later, look what has happened. I mean, it's a beautiful character arc. Even Laura Dern's character goes through somewhat of a character arc, not as big, but still goes through one. Ian Malcolm definitely does until the second movie, and he has a black daughter for some reason.
He does say he has 3 kids, and he's been married multiple times. So.
True. So I mean, yeah, that makes sense. Even David Attenborough, I mean, goes through a character arc. Think about it. Like he's the guy who's in charge of this, and he's so happy about this and everything. And towards the end, fuck
When
it.
he says, I've chosen not to endorse, and he's like,
Yep.
same.
Right,
Like,
right,
nope,
like-
I'm done. I'm done with this.
Really good. So, my favorite scene, thinking about it more, I mean, it's definitely the whole introduction to the park and then the tour of the park. But more so, there's one split-second scene where they're coming down on the helicopter, and it's, turbulence and whatever, and Grant's trying to figure out how to do up his
There's
buckles.
ties.
Because why?
You-
Life finds a way.
Yeah, you gotta like.
2 female clips that don't go together, he just ties them together and makes it happen because life finds a way. To me, that right there is the whole story of the movie in one split-second scene. It's genius. That doesn't need to be in the movie. That probably wasn't even written.
Yeah,
in
there
the movie.
wasn't a because why?
Exactly. It's foreshadowing what this whole movie's about. That you're out of control, and what can you do? Well, I'm gonna
figure it out.
make it work.
You figure it out.
Genius. Whoever came up with that,
Welcome to my existence.
genius. Any what the fuck moments for you guys in this in Jurassic Park?
Back to the same lady, her running. I can't fucking deal with it.
It's so what the fuck for me.
Fucking.
I'll give you that. But again, she fell down
This
a
is
fucking
it.
flight of stairs,
This
dude.
is it, Steve. This is what she's
She's
doing.
running away from a raptor that is not outside, which is funny.
And she's trying to run to him as fast as she can,
Yeah.
and can't use both of her legs the way that you would normally run.
Just listen to it. It's part of it's the gimpiness, but most of it is what she's doing
the-
with
the-
her voice.
The Brachiosaurus sneezing on the girl is definitely a what the fuck moment for me because it's so gross.
But it's also funny, and,
then
it's,
the
and
kid's
it's
just
needed.
like,
I
God
see
bless
it.
you.
I see it.
I think
Ooh, got it.
I did. I think that they needed to give a scene where it showed that dinosaurs were still just fucking
Just-
cool animals, but
Right. Not ferocious beasts.
What's he call it? A Vegisaurus.
It's a Vegisaurus.
Vegisaurus.
Sure.
And then later she's like, are
Metasaurus?
these a meat-eated
Metasaurus.
Metasaurus?
Right. Which is great, and it works.
That's what made you feel like they were just animals.
Exactly. Yeah.
Right?
And again, the fucking sequels make them as like superheroes.
Oh,
They're
yeah.
fucking not. They're animals. Make them act like animals.
Same thing with the Triceratops being sick. Like it was the first one they finally saw.
Yeah.
And they got to get up and touch it and everything, and like him
It's fucking
feeling it,
funny.
breathing.
That's a great scene,
It
too.
really
Because
is.
he's like, okay, it's alive. Like this thing is alive.
He's
Holy-
just a kid the whole time that maybe barely gets taken out of the fact this is dangerous.
Well,
Right.
he
Periodically.
He said even when he was down, like when him and Laura Dern were down like by its face, he said this was my favorite dinosaur when I was a kid.
He
Like,
did say
and
that,
I'm right
yeah.
here with it.
So the one thing I want to bring up is, so Samuel L. Jackson's character says, I can have this place back up and running in 3 minutes. I just got to go to the shed or whatever and flip the breaker, right?
If
So-
you full sprinted without dinosaurs, I think you could make it.
Hold on. So the Raptors were still in containment until they turned the breakers off, right? Because he said the only thing Nedry kept on was the Raptor paddock. Because he's smart, right?
Ish,
So
yeah.
it took
So-
them 3 minutes.
It took them 3
Less
minutes
than.
to get the fuck out of that paddock because they checked everything systematically, right? Then get to inside that? Or was he running down there
And it followed
him in it?
Maybe.
We don't know, and I kind of like that it's ambiguous and you
Because
don't know.
they even like earlier when they're at the raptor exhibit or whatever. And
Which is
he's-
really small.
and
when you
he's
look at it.
explaining to them they test the fence all the time.
They were checking it.
They're checking different
Systematically.
sections. They
weaknesses.
never check the same.
Right.
So for all we know, they because they're so smart,
Yep.
they noticed maybe like a sound or a light go off, and they tested it, and they were like, "Well, we can go."
Oh, well, that's
Unless
probably
they
So-
can learn how to open doors.
Which
Hold on. So there's 2 fucking dinosaurs that can open a door. The first one is with Nedry when he gets back in the Jeep.
Yeah.
That dinosaur obviously opened that door because it was shut.
his door was open.
His door on the driver's side was, but it gets in on the passenger side.
No, it's just in the passenger seat. When he gets in the car, it's already in the car.
Right, but he's literally walking up to that door.
Not
There's
when he
no way.
falls.
There's no way that dinosaur beats him up there and then
Why do you
turns
know-
around
why
and
do you
waits
think-
for him.
Why do you think
I
it's
think
the
there
same
was.
one?
I think it's more than one.
Why do
There
you
was
think
more
it's the
than
same
one.
one?
I was about to say. I thought it was more than
I
one.
thought it was a second one.
Me too, but then how does it? Okay, all right.
It's a different one.
I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
It got in there and was waiting for him because it's like, what's in here?
Because
And
it's
making
it's
all
in the
them-
car. And it's like, what the fuck is
them
this?
cute
Smells like
whatever
Fat
fucking
Man.
noise. Yeah.
And the other one is down there watching him,
Right.
and is fine until it's like not.
But hey, do you know how to defeat that animal? Just be Chris Pratt and just grab it by the muzzle.
I don't even remember that part. to be honest
Exactly.
with you.
Also, I think they were trying to be very tongue in cheek with this in the last movie. So Dodson, apparently from this movie, who is just paying this guy to
To get
get
those
these
things.
embryos, is now the big bad guy in charge of some Amazon level giant fucking corporation in Dominion.
Dotson. We got Dotson here.
See, no one cares. So how does he die in that movie? Do you remember?
No.
The same dinosaurs that killed Nedry.
Oh yeah, because I remember being like, okay,
Also, he found the fucking Barbasol can. There's no way.
which was covered in mud.
No
I
fucking
think
way.
that is the out for people that aren't like us that go out to watch casually to think that a movie's good.
Yeah, I guess.
It's like if you take your parents to see a movie like that, right? Maybe not
Okay.
your parents or mine, but a lot of parents you take out to see, they're like, that movie was great. But they think it's great because they had those certain payoffs in it, not necessarily because it's a fucking shit ass movie.
Look, I'm not.
I think those are traps for people.
traps. Okay,
They put those in these terrible movies just to make them seem semi decent for certain
I get
people.
what you're saying. It's like, oh, remember that? Oh yeah, cool, yeah.
And then you
It's
get
good.
that feeling.
Right.
You're
Well,
like, "Oh, it's a
and
good movie
I-
because of that feeling.
And I
Yeah.
think that's one of the reasons they brought back the original cast. They're like, okay, this is gonna be
100%.
this is gonna be the last one.
Well, also, what else
People
could
are
we do?
probably done with these. We got
Yeah,
we
it's
got to
just-
give them reasons to come out and see this.
Newest Indiana Jones movie, same thing. There's so many fucking lines repeated.
I think that's
Stuff
why
and
the
payoffs.
Carrick didn't like it because he was like, it's just it was too much.
I'm not a big.
And it
I'm
was
not
a
big
lot of
fan it.
unrealistic stuff, and it
I
was
wasn't.
a lot of like,
I wasn't mad at it.
There's nothing like Jurassic Park, but I wasn't a big fan. That's my favorite
Sure.
movie. Those are my favorite movies.
I
And
was
that a little
okay.
too much.
I was okay with the end though.
I'd like
no
to go back.
no
I think,
super
and watch those.
spoilers, but if you know what I'm
Sure.
saying, him getting with Marion.
It's not as big as the Crystal Skull, which is fucking
Oh,
wild garbage.
I didn't, but I wasn't super mad at that one. But I also like Shia, so like I think I liked his part.
He did. Sorry.
But I
Yeah.
liked his part in it. You know what I mean?
Went off
Like
the
I
wall.
like
He
I
went-
liked implementing
Motherfucker
him.
did. I got you. All right. So my what the fuck is why is there a kid at the dig site in the beginning? There's only one of them.
They didn't like a third world country or some shit like that.
It's some random white kid. And,
He was probably like just like somebody's kid or something. They don't actually touch on it.
but
I
then
know,
why
but
does he not like dinosaurs? Why is he being a fucking dickhead?
maybe he was dragged there by his parent, who's there out of town.
My daddy doesn't
Still
love me because he
right.
loves mosquito dinosaurs.
But honestly,
Oh, God damn it.
like I've hated that kid since I was a kid. He
Right.
drove me nuts. I hated him. I was like, shut the fuck up. Like
Well, he shut him
they
the fuck
don't
up.
seem that scary. Like, what?
But also, what's really cool is they're
Yeah,
talking
what the-
about yeah,
I
they
was
were
like,
talking about
And he
how
walks away, and he's just like,
they were talking about how they're like bird-like.
Yeah.
This was before they actually found dinosaurs that
proof
were
of that. Yeah.
proof of that, which is kind of cool. So I like that. We already talked about my other what the fuck, which is let me just read it. How did they have plants from that era, and how many
Yeah.
mosquitoes were landing on trees with sap just pouring out of them?
Yeah, I mean they had to give us a how, they had to, so they came up with the mosquito thing and stuff. But
dude, that time
There's
travel. I
holes.
like this one better.
there's holes.
I like time travel.
There's
And
holes
holes.
in almost every sci-fi
And
type of
holes.
movie, though. You know what I mean? Like,
Oh yeah, yeah.
because you can't explain everything. It's
But-
not real.
But you have to make it logically make
It's
sense.
not real.
It's not real.
I like how certain movies though will make logical
Efforts.
sense
Yeah.
As
in
best
the
they
movie.
can.
In
Yeah,
the
yeah,
movie,
yeah.
right?
Mhm.
Even if there's stuff where you could say outside of it, it's different. But in that universe, it makes sense.
Well, you're given another option, which is fucking frozen dinosaurs, which was probably thought multiple times. You think he's we not.
Well,
we
it's
get-
based
everybody
on the
does that.
book.
Let's do
Right.
something else.
It's based on a book.
It's
so,
based on
like,
the book, which the book
had-
goes a little more deeper into it.
a little more deeper.
A little more
Yeah.
deeper. Boy, they're not some deep black boy.
I ain't got nothing left.
I'm giving you all I got, Captain.
I ain't got nothing.
God damn it. Hey, guess what? I'm going to add it. The fun facts of the fucking week. Universal Pictures paid Michael Crichton $2 million for the rights to his novel before it was even published.
Ooh, yes.
So you know you got something good.
They knew, yeah. They knew
Before
something was
you
going.
even publish it, you're like, hey, look.
You think he was like, yo,
How?
I'm writing
But
a book
how?
I'm writing a book about some fucking crazy shit and some dinosaurs. And they're
You know
like,
what I mean?
I'm in.
Alright.
It wasn't published yet, so they had to read it. Though.
So Michael Crichton was a big author at that time.
Published
So
and
they
written are
just
two different
someone-
things.
Correct.
Yeah. So it was already written, which means
Most likely.
he allowed people to read it before it was
Yeah,
published.
he's probably got some good friends, bless you,
Dope.
who's just like, hey man, check this out. Give it to your people.
Yeah.
I got some people. You
Right.
got some people. Have your
Exactly.
people call my people.
Has he
Yeah, my
had
people.
Has he had any other movies
Like The Firm, I'm
his-
pretty sure he did.
from his books?
The Firm
Was it
and ER, I think was from him.
ER?
Yeah. So
Like
funny.
the
I don't.
show?
I don't think I put this on here, but so no. I take it back. This is what it was. So Steven Spielberg was actually was making a movie about ER first, and then
He was like, oh, fuck this.
yeah,
Do you know how
No,
long
no,
we
no,
could
no, no,
profit?
no.
You know how long we could profit off of this shit?
literally he was in the stages of making ER, and then this came across, and he was like, oh no, we're doing this instead, and then ended up helping create the TV show.
Which lasted for how long? It
You
was a
think he
long,
was
long
like,
time.
he was like,
Eight plus seasons.
let me
Which-
hear this again.
which
So
in
dinosaurs?
retrospect- not that long since Grey's Anatomy is on its like 19th fucking season.
Yeah, but not
Grey's
everybody.
Anatomy.
Not everybody is like that. I mean, like
Like
go.
this and like that.
McDreamy. McSteamy.
McSteamy. Mm. All right, you ready for this? I
I
got a
don't
long
watch
one
it
here.
anymore. but-
Interest in paleontology waned during the atomic age and space race, but according to Dr. Nate Smith of the Natural History Museum of Dinosaur Institute, Jurassic Park coming out generated a bunch of interest amongst young people that wanted to become paleontologists and get into the field. As a result, numerous new dinosaur species have been discovered since then at roughly the rate of 50 new discoveries per year, or about one per week.
Wild.
Dope.
Wild.
Think about that for a second. Like, nobody cared about dinosaurs that much because of, like I said, the space race, right? Everything being about spacemen and cowboys and everything. And then this movie comes out and people are like, you know what? Fuck yeah, dinosaurs. And now we have so many different species. This is why they didn't know about feathered dinosaurs before, and now they're finding them
Oh.
because more people are
So,
invested in it.
In turn, this movie created fucking bunch of kids that want to go out and or a bunch of like people that want to
They
go
wanna
out
be
and find
Exactly,
yeah,
which
they're
is
let's go figure
awesome.
this shit out.
Think about that.
It's
That
dope. It's
is
dope
one-
as fuck.
Do
Well,
you
cool as shit.
think
No.
this
I do.
movie, this movie success is because this came out the year before the first season of Friends, where they decide that Ross is a paleontologist? What other show?
Do you think he's influenced by this movie?
I get
The
what you're
idea?
saying. I get
Is that
what
what
you're saying.
That's what I'm saying. Like, because
Yes.
what a random career to choose one of your main
No one
characters
wanted to
have.
be a paleontologist.
You know what I
before this
mean?
Shit.
And then this movie, the first season of Friends came out in 1994. This came out in 1993. Do you think they went,
Jurassic Park.
we should have him be a paleontologist?
Sure. Yes.
I
Because
think
think
so.
about the other careers in that show. Monica's a chef. That's That's average. Chandler is like any regular person who just works at like a data entry corporate job.
Sure.
Joey's an actor, which they're in New York City. Not unheard of to be an actor. Phoebe bounces around. Rachel bounces around. But paleontologist, where do you
I
get
like
that?
how you made this relate to Friends. And yes, I do believe so.
But it's hard not as a Friends
Anyone
follower
after Jurassic Park in a movie that wanted to be
is
a
a paleontologist.
paleontologist.
It's
because
hard
of
not
Jurassic
to.
Park.
You know what I mean? When
Yeah.
you have because paleontologist is not a common.
I mean, in the 90s,
Character.
in the 90s, it kind of was again because there was a boom in dinosaurs.
But when?
When did Friends start? 94.
That's what I'm saying. The year after Jurassic Park.
100%.
I feel like it had to, right?
100%. Yeah. Again, if it was a thing that was becoming popular, you want to go
They
into the
even
popular.
it's like
culture.
season 2 or 3. Joey goes to work at the museum for a little bit as like a tour guide just to make money.
Sure.
And a kid even calls him out because he can't remember all of the time periods.
I don't know what a Gillamanis is.
Of the Jurassic or of,
Right,
of
right.
the periods. And he's like, oh, a T-Rex foot from the Jurassic. And a kid's like, it wasn't from the Jurassic. I mean, they're using
I got you.
these things.
All right. I'm going to go down Michael Cretchen's list of books that were made into a
Oh, is that
movie.
what you were doing?
Yes.
You was doing the Google.
Yes. I was doing the Google. So these are all the books that have been made into a movie.
Is it
He
a
has
lot?
more.
There's a lot of them.
This guy
Hold
got
on.
the golden pen kind
Wait,
of thing.
known movies? Or like, are we going to know most of these?
Some of them have changed names or have been adapted
From the book.
book.
Okay.
Most of them are the same.
Sounds like, based on you just saying some of them and most of them, sounds like there's been a lot. So-
The first one is called A Case of Need, which he published in 1968, was adapted into a movie. I don't know which ones were changed or not, but 1969, The Andromeda Strain, that was made into a TV show that was on like FX or something. Andromeda Strain, sure.
We got it.
Sure. In 1970, Dealing, I think that turned into a Michael Douglas movie, so
Oh, Mike Douglas.
Oh, Michael Douglas. Binary in 1972. The Terminal Man in 1972 as well. The Great Train Robbery.
Wait, is the Terminal Man? Did that turn into the Tom Hanks movie, The Terminal, or is
Something like that, I'm assuming.
I have no fucking clue.
I love that?
Yeah, I don't
movie,
know.
But I love.
1976, Eaters of the Dead. 1980, Congo.
Okay, if
Scary
we're talking
monkeys.
about a movie that terrified me when I was younger, that's one of them. And sometimes I forget it exists, and so now I'm gonna have nightmares again because I forgot again that it existed.
Sweet. 1987, Sphere.
Terrifying.
That was also another
Oh
one.
my gosh.
1990, Jurassic Park.
Mhm.
92, Rising Sun. 94, Disclosure. 95, The Lost World.
He's writing a lot of books. quickly.
99. I'm not even going through all of
But that
them.
was
I'm
like
skipping
4
to
years
the,
in a row.
Yeah,
he had
I'm,
a book come out.
right. I'm skipping to different books that were made into movies. 99, the last one was called Timeline.
Well,
Guy's written a lot of shit. He's probably got paid a fuck ton of money.
Yeah. Well, he did now, so
You can't take that with you.
no, you can't.
take it with you.
He
Can't
has
keep it
sold
with-
over 200 million copies worldwide in 28 novels that he's made.
Worldwide.
Worldwide what?
Yo, he died in 2008. Goddamn, he's been
Worldwide.
dead for a bit.
Prestige.
Jesus.
Oh wow.
The infamous roar of the Tyrannosaurus Rex was comprised of a mix of a dog,
Tiger.
penguin,
Elephant.
tiger's snarl, alligator's gurgle, and a baby elephant's squeal. The very deep
Wow.
alligator vocals
I knew it was something with those two, but I
Right.
didn't know it was like dogs and shit.
Oh, dude, it's crazy. The very deep alligator vocals acted as a low-frequency element of the final roar. However, as Gary Ryderstrom stresses, don't know who the fuck that is, the key part of the sound, probably the sound engineer, is the high-frequency element, the baby elephant. Ryderstrom describes how during the recording session, the baby elephant only did the iconic, cute, high-pitched scream that forms the basis of every T-Rex roar in the film once. We kept trying to get it to do it again, and the handlers were saying, we never heard it do that before. That's a weird sound.
So they hit it. They
Oh my
lightning in a
God,
bottle.
What did they do to
They
get
fucking
it
do it
to
again.
it?
Do it
Pruned his
again.
ass.
Right.
Aw.
Doing something. Oh, how cute.
Baby,
Baby
elephants
elephants.
are
This is gonna
so
be-
cute.
This is gonna be a little bit edgy, but fucking to give me that scream, take a little baby elephant.
Take him out back. Give him.
Baby elephants are so cute. They're
Little
like,
pride.
I mean, the biggest babies
Right.
in the world.
You know what's
They're
awesome?
They're like
so
actual
cute.
infants.
That baby or that elephant is probably still alive.
Oh
They
yeah.
live a long.
Oh,
well, if it was in captivity, maybe not. They don't live as long in
Well,
captivity.
no,
but-
true. They also mourn their death, which is or
I
if they're
know
dead, which
that's
is
so
wild.
sad.
Yeah. It really is.
Animals have feelings.
Not
Prong it.
dinosaurs. Goddamn.
Prod it.
The guest's encounter with the sick Triceratops ends without any clear explanation as to why the animal is sick.
Yeah.
Michael Cretchen, I don't know how to say his name. Original novel and the screenplay, however, include an explanation. The Triceratops lacked suitable teeth for grinding food, and so, like birds, would swallow rocks and use them as gizzard stones. In the digestive tract, these rocks would grind the food to aid in digestion. After 6 weeks, the rocks would become too smooth to be useful, and the animal would regurgitate them. When finding and eating new rocks to use, the animal would also swallow West Indian lilac berries. The fact that the berries and stones are regurgitated explains why Ellie never finds traces of them in the animal's excrement.
So it did eat it.
You all right?
Yeah.
You sure?
She's
Did you get all
dying
that?
over there. She's dying over there.
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
Sneezing.
So basically, it was sick because it wasn't eating enough, because every 6 weeks it was regurgitating everything because it was having to put those stones in its throat to act as...
Wild.
Sure, you good? You can keep sneezing. Sneeze all you want.
It's not sneezing, it's coughing. There's
Oh.
just a steady, like, now tickle back there, and I can't.
Yeah, there you go.
This will help in digestion. Mr. DNA, the cartoon, was Steven Spielberg's way of condensing much of the novel's exposition into a few minutes.
Genius.
Who was the voice of the DNA guy?
Just anything that
Because
kills
I
a movie
feel like
is
I
fucking
recognize his
jargon.
voice.
Dinosaur. I don't know. DNA. Here we go. You ready for the Phil Tippett one?
Yes.
Yeah.
Wait, no, I'm not.
Yeah, I heard it.
The job of animating the dinosaurs was first given to Phil Tippett, who did several pre-visualizations
I
with
remember hearing
stop
about this.
motion animation where models are slightly moved in between shooting separate frames. Motion blur would be digitally added to make the movements seem less jerky and more convincing, a process known as go motion, which Tippett previously utilized for the, depending on who you are, AT-ATs or AT-ATs in the Star Wars series. It's also done it in RoboCop.
You just call it at.
There's two types of people out there. They call it AT-AT or AT-AT. I'm an AT-AT guy.
Thank you.
I want to call it.
I was
at
about
it.
to take a deep breath for a minute.
Just throwing it out there because
Thank
I
you.
remember I was talking to somebody once and I went, "Oh yeah, the AT-ATs," and the guy's like, "What the fuck are those?"
Come on, though. At.
It has to be an acronym for something. If
Please, God, no.
if someone knows like the deep Star Wars shit, it has to be an acronym for something. All terrain.
Let me call my man George Lucas up.
Yeah, I got his number. Hold on.
Right.
That's exactly why this right here actually is exactly why I recognize his voice.
Who is it?
So
The guy did Bugs Bunny. And
he was
shit.
an American voice actor who's known for voicing Mr. DNA from Jurassic Park and for being one of Mel Blanc and Dawes Butler's successors for many characters such as Bugs Bunny, Yogi Bear, Foghorn Leghorn, and Pepe Le Pew. He sounds. I hear Foghorn Leghorn.
Dinosaur.
Yes.
That was actually pretty good.
That was good.
Dinosaur. That's
Dinosaur.
pretty good. That's close.
Anyway, so ILM, Industrial Light and Magic, visual effects artists Steve Spaz Williams and Mark A.Z. Dippe suggested that most of the dinosaurs could be fully animated on computers, although their boss, Dennis Morin, told them that they could never do a better job than Tippett. They created a test animation in secret.
They said challenge accepted.
Yeah.
In secret of
That's
a
what I like
skeletal
to hear.
T-Rex anyway, which was shown to Kathleen Kennedy, the producer of the movie, when she visited ILM. Kennedy informed Steven Spielberg, who was intrigued and ordered another test reel. He was blown away by the final result, where a fully fleshed T-Rex walks through a desert. He and Tippett looked at each other, and Tippett said, "I think we're extinct." Spielberg liked that line and gave it to Jeff Goldblum to say to Sir Sam Neill in the Visitor Center. Tippett
Yes.
later stated that he was generally sick from feeling obsolete and left the set for 10 days, but was later hired to help design the computer-generated dinosaurs' movements.
Wow.
Yeah.
But honestly, like for
Imagine
him to
being there at the beginning of the end for you.
Right.
for
That's
him to
fucking
concede
cool.
though, he even saw it and he went, you gotta use
the
this.
fact that
Oh,
you
yeah.
know
Like-
that. It's respect. I
Yeah,
can respect
yeah,
that
yeah.
shit.
I think what really puts it to rest is the CG in this movie holds up today.
It does.
It's
yeah,
so good.
It does.
Now, there are
They
some
went tricky.
spots.
Well, and the tricks that they used to make sure that it held up was fucking awesome.
I mean, even
Dark,
especially
light,
the
mixing
T-Rex,
both ideas.
the T-Rex part with the rain and the light reflecting off of it and stuff. Like,
And that looks fine, and that's because it's in the dark. Anything that's in the light looks a little harsh. So
Yeah.
when you first see the Brontosaurus in the beginning, it looks meh.
well,
Yeah,
especially on our TVs today.
Right.
Like it's
Exactly. The 4K remaster.
Yeah, yeah.
It's
Yeah,
gonna
back
look
in the day,
shit,
yeah. No, I didn't think
Yeah,
about that, but back in the day, it's probably a little bit more digestible.
Well, just like, so
Yeah.
if you play a PS1 game on a regular TV today, it looks like shit. But if you pop it
I've been
in,
doing that for days.
but if you put it on, look, I play a couple PS1 games still today as well. But if you pop that into a CRT television, it's going to look better. The reason for it is because, number one, the resolution of those screens were smaller, so what you're looking at is rendered differently, and then also being a cathode ray tube, it shows it differently, so it breaks it up. So you're actually seeing a better visualization of what it's trying to show you on a CRT than you would on a brand new television, which is fucking wild to think
Yeah,
about.
the idea is simple.
Well, also they're designing it that way to be put on that screen, so you're now
because
looking
that's
at something.
at the time.
The-
that's what it's going to be.
Exactly.
That's what it's going to be watched on.
That whole scene is like we're gonna do it this way because this needs to be the most immersive part
Oh yeah,
for a good reason. Dark, you can't pick all the weird odds and ends out.
I would
Plus,
love.
it makes it creepier.
Yeah,
like
I
the
would
dark.
love to have seen what Phil Tippett could have done, right? Because it's not like it was going to look like the skeletons in fucking Clash of the, Titans or whatever.
Yeah.
It was going to probably be the best shit you've ever seen with stop motion.
You say he did Star Wars, right?
Yeah,
The Rancor. That's what I envision. Rancor. However
right.
you not see it. That's what I envision.
Yeah, or so the second,
Which is just
the second movie, the Yeti or whatever you want to call it,
Yeah.
same thing, which kind of still looks good. You know what I mean? So. I mean,
don't
for
know.
those movies,
Maybe people back in the day are like, oh yeah, this is fucking dope. Because
but that's the 70s, is what I'm saying. So this
Yeah.
is 93. You got to think that
now you
maybe
see it. It looks like you're watching something at Chuck E. Cheese.
you're right. Kill me now. The most difficult effect to pull off was the vibrating rings of water. Steven Spielberg wanted the T-Rex to announce its presence somehow before the audience saw it, and got the idea from watching the mirror in his car vibrate from the bass effects while listening to Earth, Wind, and Fire.
Dope, yeah.
When Michael
When I wish
Lenteri,
upon a star.
when Michael Lenteri tried to replicate that with water, it was harder than any of the dinosaur effects. Nobody knew how to do it, but told Spielberg they could. The night before the shoot, Lenteri put a glass of water on a guitar, and when he plucked the strings, that did it. So for the scene, they
That's
fed
cool.
guitar strings under the dashboard to get the effect, and a man on the floor plucked the strings to achieve it.
That's dope as shit. Dude, that's the heart and soul of the fucking movie.
And also
Stuff like that,
sometimes
attention to
It's
detail,
still
man.
they've put it in the other movies, like the seeing ripples in the water.
exactly, but also sometimes the simplest answer is always the fucking solution.
It makes me feel like some shit. A lot of CGI feels like a cop out
Mhm.
nowadays. You know, you
Well,
watch certain
also-
things, you're like, oh, come on, man.
Well, also they don't have some places don't have a direct plan for it. It's like, okay, we'll figure it out. Just we'll shoot this with
As
CG. It's
yeah.
fine. And then you
Yeah.
get to it, and because they didn't plan well for it, you don't have any comps from the scene you shot, and so it looks out of place.
Yep.
If you're going to do it right, you're going to go and have your CGI guys there on the set to say, this is what we can do, this is how it should be, and take set photos and stuff like that. They actually have these orbs that they bring, There's one that's matte, there's one that's chrome, and then there's one that's like semi-gloss. So you take a picture of that in the scene, so you get what it would look like all around, and you can bring that in. It's fucking wild. Sorry.
I like
No,
that.
no,
Even
it's dope.
even the audio part though, like talking about
watched
how they made the scream, like the T-Rex, like growl. I've seen, like, if you've seen those videos of the people who that's their job is to provide for commercials and stuff. Like some of the shit that they do to get like this person is walking through leaves or this person is doing like the sounds
His arms
that they put
breaking.
in there.
Let's get some celery.
Do you remember what was that radio station that used to play the sound and you would have to call in and guess
DC
what
101. It was fucking Howard Stern.
you had to call in and guess what it was, right? And it would be like a random object from your house or whatever. But people, there were
Pig
ones
vomit.
that were
What?
like, there were ones that were super. I mean, you would have people after people after people calling in, not getting it.
Yeah.
Wild.
WNBC. Sorry, I fucking love the movie Private Parts, and that's coming up soon. All right. Were you going to say something?
I was not.
Okay. Final decisions out of 10. What would we give this movie out of 10 and why? Tara? No, we're going to go Wally first. You picked it.
I give it a 10.
10 out of 10.
Is this your first 10?
100%. I have so much confidence in this fucking movie.
Confidence. I mean, we have the first 10 we've ever thrown out on this show.
It's best movie. In my opinion, it has everything that I've ever wanted in a movie. It feels like a movie. When I think of a definition of a movie, this is in it. It's
like
pretty
that.
fucking
I like
goddamn
that.
close. And I try to pick it apart. The stuff you guys were saying earlier about like holes being in this, I have never once been like, I don't give a shit about the holes.
Sure.
This is one of those movies where I don't care about any. There's not big plot holes, obviously, because that would probably negate some of the score on this.
True.
Just small, minuscule stuff. But you can feel the love in this movie for every little part of this fucking movie. It's so good. The music, we've already talked about the attention to detail in the scenes. The stuff Steve was just talking about, I never knew. So clearly all the love that the people put into this movie came out in the movie. It's great. It's a fucking beautiful thing.
There's a lot more fun facts I wanted to put in here, but I knew we were going to talk about this for a long time, so I didn't want to.
I'm still seeing stuff that I can newly appreciate when I watch this, and I've probably watched this upwards of 40 to 50 times.
Oh yeah, there are still things like that we haven't even talked about today that we could keep going.
Just little things I see. I'm like, oh yeah, like I didn't appreciate the dinosaur blowing steam on the glass before. Like I watched that today. I was like, that's fucking good.
Or like I didn't bring it up on here, but when we got here and you had it running. That when she's holding the Jello and you can hear the Jello.
Before I keep going,
oh, there was.
Before I keep going, a big reason I gave this a 10 is because I think that there is a movie that deserves it. Deserves a 10. There needs to be a bottom of the metric and a top of the metric. And if I go through the list of movies that I've seen, that I've watched, I don't think there's a couple that get close, but this one is just almost, if not perfect. I think this is top of the list for me.
Yeah. So far.
It's not even necessarily my favorite movie, but it's just like
it's
the
so
best
good.
movie.
It's so
man.
good, yeah.
Anyways, that's mine. That's my 10.
Before you say yours, I want to say one fun fact that I didn't bring up, and I implore anybody who's still listening or watching to go and look at the behind the scenes of how the T-Rexes were made, the physical animatronics.
Oh yeah, I've watched them too.
The funny thing is, the same thing happened to Steven Spielberg here that happened on Jaws. Water and fucking up the giant machines. So they would have them on set, and the way they made them with hydraulics and stuff, they could fucking move. And they basically said that they had to make sure everybody knew this thing was turning on, because if it moved by you, it felt like a bus blew by you. That's how
cool,
fucking
man.
wild it was. But because of the way like water was affecting it, sometimes while they break for lunch, it would move by itself. And it would fucking scare everybody.
Can you imagine?
Dude, think
That'd be
about
terrifying.
that.
Even just being like an assistant of an assistant on that set, that
And all
you're
of a
just
sudden,
bringing them lunch or
yeah.
Do you do
something.
roller coasters?
I do some roller coasters.
Did you ever do the Jurassic Park
It's amazing.
the water ride? Did you ever do that one?
At
Universal
Studios,
Yeah.
where you go down and it's like right there.
You're going up top, and when its head pops out at you,
Right before
I
you-
can only
Oh my
imagine.
God, yeah.
That shit fucking terrifying.
when
dude.
you're not on a
Yeah.
ride, you're
Well, and
just
the-
walking through the fucking studio.
The
and
best part
thing just
is
like,
you're also going down a
when
like,
that happens.
100-foot drop
You
as
know-
there's a dinosaur trying to eat you.
This is, the suspense is there. You've
Oh, yeah.
seen people falling down.
yeah.
You're like, okay, this is calm and slow, and then a fucking T-Rex about to eat you, and you fucking go
Oh, it's
flying
amazing.
out, man.
So Steven Spielberg had a hand in making that ride.
Shit, fucking dope.
Of course, right? Now,
Not squirting water at you.
Yeah,
it's fucking
it's-
dope, man.
so they've made that ride. They've how do I say reimagined that
Yeah,
ride like
they've
3 or 4 times.
updated it.
The first time you can watch on YouTube still, it's the best alliteration. There's the Jeep falling down the thing
Yeah.
still and everything. They've since taken that out. If you look at it now, it's a Jurassic World ride in California, but they still have the Jurassic Park ride in Florida. So the Jurassic World ride, I would say, is kind of cooler, but also the nostalgia factor's not there. But they're different rides.
Dude, I
but
rode
they're
it when
the same-
that Jeep was falling.
Oh,
as
yeah.
a kid.
Yeah, it's amazing.
That fucking was awesome.
Or the 2 little fucking compies eating the shirt of the fucking. Yeah, it's great.
It's
great.
fucking great.
I like it. All right, Tara, out of 10.
I agree with everything that Wally is saying, but I'm still gonna do a 9 just
9.
because
Are you guys capable of giving movie? I don't
That's
mean to
what- so
interrupt.
that's what
Are
I'm
you
getting
guys?
into. This
Are
is what
either
I'm-
of you capable of giving 10s?
This is what
because
I-
this was. I fought this all the way here while driving.
Yes, you know my 10.
Yeah, that's the
this
thing.
is what I'm about to get into is that there was there was maybe one
gonna
or
give
two
out-
other movies that I've given a 9 on that we've done
Yeah.
this. And so while you were giving your rating, I was trying to think of it as in comparison to the 9s that I've given.
Mhm.
And in my opinion, if I were to give this a 10, then I would need to update at least one of my past ones because that so far until now was my
yeah,
it.
your metric.
that was the
I
one
know
to
my
beat.
jam.
And when I'm comparing those two, I feel the same way about both of them. There's nothing I would change about them. So I can't. That's my past ratings are holding me back from giving a 10 to this because I can't justify giving this one a 10 and not that one a 10.
Sure.
If that makes sense.
That makes sense.
My thing was struggling with do 10s exist, and the fact that I was thinking.
10s exist.
Well, I was thinking about
because
that on the way here.
The
I was
argument
like,
is nothing is perfect
yeah, exactly.
in the
So,
world.
But
Like-
if a movie was to deserve a 10, what movies would deserve a 10?
Yeah.
So I went down that lane and I started going through movies. Out of maybe like 20 or 30 that I've
We're
watched
up there for you.
and have meant something to me, and then on a quality level, like a remove myself from anything that I have like love from the movie,
Sure.
I came to 2, and this was one of them. Like I was like, this movie's like perfect.
I
It's-
definitely get what you're saying.
It's fucking perfect. So I had to give it a 10. It has to get a 10.
I don't blame you.
You
No,
know?
I don't either. But
I just feel hard. It's hard giving a 10 in
I
front of
know,
people
I know.
because it's
Yeah,
like
it
a
hurts.
fucking.
You're like taking something out
I
of your
don't.
soul for
Yeah,
it.
I don't think there's any other movie that fucking really sits this minus one other movie, but that'll stay a surprise for a long time.
Well, I know what it is.
But I get what you're saying because there are definitely other movies that I would give a 9 to easily. Like there are definitely other
Sure,
movies
sure.
that I love that like
And that Steve just mentioned it. His 10 is probably not a 10 to anybody else.
No, it's definitely not
because
to
it
me.
you feel it somewhere in here.
because it's not even a 9 to me.
This
It's
is
probably
like-
not even an 8.
this
to
is
me.
my-
Like, so, like-
This is my 10 that's I'm not attached to necessarily. I love this
Yeah,
movie.
yeah.
I'm kind of attached to it, but my other one is going to be a personal
Yeah.
10. So this
Yeah.
is my objective. My what word am I looking for? This is my
Objective?
10 that I'm just being objective, but this is
No,
the
but
movie
it makes
that deserves
sense.
10.
I
yeah.
mean, you're not giving out a 10 to a movie that's like, oh my god, what the fuck are you thinking?
Yeah.
guy? This is a.
yeah.
Let me read what I wrote, and then I'll give my
Sure,
score, and we'll be
Sure,
on the same
sure,
here. This is a master class in filmmaking. Every part of this movie is perfect. Almost every main character has a large character arc. The use of music or lack thereof in some scenes makes them all the more impactful. With special effects that rival any movie to this day, this movie will always be at the top of the mountain when talking about the best movies of all time.
Mhm.
So how can you not give it what Wally just gave it?
Yeah, that's the thing, man.
So what did you give it?
I gave it a 9.5.
I don't think Steve can
You
give
know
a
what?
10. And if it is, he's saving it for that one movie, I think.
So that's where my struggle is I can't think of one and I think that's the point to your question is there, would you ever give a movie a 10?
Yeah,
Because I don't know if I can
debate,
think
man.
of one that I would, but I wouldn't give a 10 to almost anything in life.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Like,
I was torn
So-
while driving. I was like, I was driving here and I'm like, okay, this movie is it. I
Right.
think this is it. And if
Yeah.
I'm thinking that this is it, and I've never thought that about any other movie, it's probably
probably it.
It's
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
probably it.
You're right. I mean, and so I mean, you sit down, and you really break this movie apart, and
Yeah.
you can't. Besides what we've done, but again, to what you said, it don't
who
fucking
cares?
matter.
Yeah, who cares?
Yeah. Exactly.
Does the movie suck if you actually look into what we talked about? No.
I don't. I think it might be not unanimous that people love it, but I think this might be one of the first movies where I can ask anybody if they hate it, and I don't think anyone's going to say yes.
I've never come across a person who's like Jurassic Park.
Yeah.
No, not
Fuck
for me.
that.
But
dog.
you can
Fuck
add
that, yeah.
any other movie we've done. You could probably find someone
for sure.
would- who
nearby
would be like, "Not
that
your
would be like,
thing.
yeah, it's not
Not my
it's
thing."
not my thing.
My highest rated movie right now is Scott Pilgrim vs. the World.
And that's not everybody's thing.
Exactly.
Obviously.
It's
And
a
I
good
gave
movie.
that a 9. So I mean, it's got to be a little higher than me. That was my metric too. Was like,
Yeah.
oh, fuck, I gave Scott Pilgrim a 9. But that's a personal thing
Exactly.
too, where we've talked
Yeah.
about.
I have to
I
have the
score movies
confidence
personally.
from here on out
Yeah.
to go, this movie's not as good as Jurassic Park.
There you go.
That was the other question that I asked myself.
And that's a good metric, right?
Yeah.
Because you have your own metrics, and
We're
that's why I like rating movies like I do,
Yeah.
because every single person looks at a movie differently, just
Mm-hmm.
like everything else. So your 10 could be a 9.5 to me, or a 9
Yeah.
to Tara, or a 6 to
it's,
somebody.
it's a fucking leap. It's a confidence leap too. Because what if
Right.
a movie comes out and I'm like, oh fuck,
Well,
What do I
that's-
get?
I
and that's
don't
the
think
thing
that
is,
can happen.
Is maybe you're right. Maybe I
Metal Gear
can't.
Solid,
Maybe
the
I'm not
movie.
going to be able to.
I don't think
assign a
another movie's
10,
going
you know
to
what I
come
mean?
out that can up this. I think that's dead
Because
and
even
gone.
Do you
there's
have a
one-
movie that you go, oh, that's a 10?
No, that's what I'm saying. That like
See,
right
but then you
off,
don't-
off
yeah,
the
you don't
top
have
of
it.
my head.
That's why this one fucking.
Because,
this
but I
this
think
one
it's,
sits on
but
a
I
mountain.
think it is because
Mountain.
I do live in that mindset that nothing
I'm
is
with you.
is a 10.
This also
Right.
feels like a culmination of cinema too. Like everyone,
Yeah.
it
That's a good way to
it
look
got
at it.
everything right.
This is the
It finally met everything met in the middle.
Yeah.
Acting,
CGI,
special effects.
Yeah.
I can come
music.
up with multiple movies I would give a 9 to. I just
Me
like I
too.
can't like
Yeah.
I can't
nines
get,
aren't the issue.
It
They're not
Nines aren't the issue.
but they
It's the-
have been up until now. Is what I'm saying. Like I
best-
haven't given 9s
Look,
to a
look,
lot
look.
of movies.
Here's my recommendation to you two. The best out of the 9s for you guys need to be a 10. That one needs to be a 10. If not, you don't have the courage to give a movie a 10.
I mean, I know my 10.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. If you if you have a group of 9s and they're the best, and
Then you're saying that they
the
would
best 9 needs to be a
Then
10.
they need
I
to be
got you.
10s.
Yeah. Well, that's why I gave
know?
this a 9.5.
It's
I was like,
good,
it's got to
man.
be, So I think we're in it.
You
Jurassic
know
Park.
what? I'll give it a 9.5.
It's fucking good,
Look, we
dude.
talked her into it.
And now it's above the last movie I
What was
gave
the
it.
one that
This
was?
will be the highest rated movie we've ever
Was
done.
it League of Your Own? Was that the one you gave?
That you gave a 9 to. Yeah.
That's a fucking.
That's a
brilliant
It's a
movie.
phenomenal
It's a
movie.
bangy.
That's a phenomenal movie.
That
There's
lives in
nothing
a different
wrong.
space
There's
too.
nothing wrong with that movie. And there's like I get emotional reactions to that movie when I watch it too. Like it's
Does
not
it
just
scare you?
Nope.
no, but that's
it make-
different.
did
But
you make
that's a
it tingle?
different type of movie.
Yeah, I know. I'm being.
But
Cool.
But that's what my struggle was. Is even when I gave it a 9 when we were on it, and it was just Steve and we had this conversation. We could not come up with anything that was wrong with the movie, but neither of us could give it a
Look,
perfect score.
I'm saying what everybody's thinking.
Hey, next week, it's the man who's not here's pick, Joshy. We're going horror, or are we? We got to.
He lives through Terra, right?
Right.
So
right
he,
now
he
he
gave
lives-
me his pick.
he gave me the
me his pick. I don't know if you guys have done this before I was on it. I told him to look it up on the website though.
Sure.
So he is picking the OG Scream,
Oh, we've never done
the
it.
original Scream movie.
We've
the
never
first
done it.
one.
If you're gonna do a Halloween movie, that's a good
That's
Halloween
what he's
fucking
picking.
movie
He's
to
picking
do.
Ghostface original
Ghost
Scream.
Which would be great because they did one of the new ones and they tore that shit apart. maybe not in an actual episode. It might have been like a side quest of an episode. But I
Oh,
remember you,
me and George
fucking were tearing that.
No, there
movie
was
a
two-
new
So it wasn't the
asshole.
newest because there's been.
Well, so this
one
was
since,
no,
right?
it was the
One before
the
the
new or the second newest. So the one that just came
the
out was
fifth?
actually pretty good.
Is this one the 6th? The one
Yeah,
that's out
I
now.
think
So
so.
this
No
was.
fucking
So that
idea.
was the 5th or whatever.
So yeah, no, I'm excited. We actually haven't done Scream. Look at us, Halloween.
This movie's on the fucking nose too for
Oh yeah,
like just painting horror
Yeah.
movies,
Oh, yeah,
right?
yeah,
So it's like
we could talk about some good stuff. I got some cool fun facts for that too. Come like that I already know, so we can add those.
I haven't
in
watched
there.
the OG Scream in
that'd be a good
years.
date. That'd be a good date night movie.
Years.
Little cuddle on booty.
Tiffany never saw them, so I went back maybe like during COVID and we watched them all. And she's
all
like,
of
"Oh
them.
yeah, the first one was good. Second one, oh my god. Third one, oh it's pretty good. Fourth one, what the fuck is this?"
Yeah,
Yeah.
they start to.
And
go
then
down.
and then we went to the theaters to see the fifth
The
one, I
fifth
guess.
one.
And she was like, "Why am I here?" I was like, "It fucking sucks." And we ripped it
I
apart.
I've seen mixed reviews of the 6th one though because I know there are
actually-
some new people like they did
Kinda-
implement some new
kinda
people.
liked it.
Jenna Ortega's in this one, right?
She's in
wasn't.
5 and 6.
She's in both of them.
Yep.
Okay.
I did actually review the newest one with our friends at What's Your Least Favorite Scary Movie
Oh.
podcast. You guys have never actually been on an episode of them with them, which, hey, and maybe we'll do that sometime. They're obviously about Scream because their fucking whole podcast is what's your least favorite scary movie, which goes off of
I
what's
feel
your
like
favorite scary movie.
I think I already know what my least favorite scary movie. If it even counts as a scary movie, I don't even know if it would count.
What is it?
It would probably be The Happening
Oh my god, yes.
because that's just terrible.
The whole
I don't even want to say that it's terrible.
Hilarious.
I
by
don't want
the
to
way.
say terrible because then my name is associated with it, so it's terrible.
What was the one with the girl that hit a phone pole? What was that?
Hereditary.
That's fucking jets.
Amazing. That was actually our
That's
highest
insane.
rated movie
That's a-
right now,
that's
but
a
it might have been
masterclass in
dethroned.
fucking
Oh, I feel
horror
like Jurassic
too,
Park
man.
had to have taken it.
I'm
off.
pretty sure,
with a
'cause I
10
think
and
we-
2 9.5s.
Yeah, probably.
Dude, that fucking movie, dude. That is one of the best scary movies I've ever seen. If
That's
not,
also I feel like with scary movies, if it's one you if it's with a lot of movies that we cover, like a lot of genres, you give it a higher rating if you'd go back and watch it. I feel like with horror movies, it's the opposite. If you don't want to watch it,
Well,
It's
depending
like-
depending on why you don't want to watch
You
it.
know what
except
I
for
mean?
this one, if you go back and watch it, it's
Way
better.
It's way better. Yeah.
but it's one of those things where I feel like you have
But
to be
you
in a
don't
right
want to
mind
because
space.
it's fucking terrifying.
Yes, that's what I'm
That's
saying.
how
You need
know.
to be in the right mind space because there are some. It did its job,
Exactly.
which
Yeah,
means
oh,
it's
yeah.
fucking good.
It's
like
Speaking of good, next week, Scream. I'm fucking excited for it. Josh is gonna be back. The whole gang's gonna be here. It's gonna be fun. I don't know. You're fucking
Facebook.
in it. What?
yeah, that's
That's how we're gonna end this one. Hey guys, thanks for listening. Thanks for being here. Subscribe. Do your thing. Hey.